past 9 o'clock, the '09 time, Facebook cancels the entire video.
Well, stop talking. Oh, there it is.
Live. Then this has to happen. Which one is it? The
Hey everybody, this is Johnny Beane, and it is 8:09 p.m. Eastern Time, 5:09 Pacific, April 17th, 2020. Where are we? There we are.
Whoa!
Hey dudes. Jay Hannon, 7/8.
Yeah.
Hey man. David Nesdall. What's
Hi.
up? Man? What's up? What's up?
How you doing, Johnny?
Good. This is going to be a crazy show. I got to get this stuff out of the way really quickly here. Tonight's video, executive producers are Charles Green, Music Therapy Laz, Robbie Johnston, and Mike Neese. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. We should get right into it.
Let's hop on it.
Who's on the show with us tonight, Jay?
We got, I don't even have to introduce him. It's Alex Skolnick. You kidding me?
Alex.
Yay!
Hey,
Surprise!
man.
Where is it?
There it is.
Man, look at all those cool guitars behind you. Thought I had cool guitars, but you've got the shit.
I got a collection. That's
Nice.
just a few too.
Those are just the Gibsons?
The Gibsons are on. Some of the Gibsons are on the wall. There's another one on the sofa. There's a couple more in cases.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
holding-
Like being at home all this time. I'm starting to realize, wow, I've got some really cool guitars. I haven't had much time to play.
Yeah, you do.
I'm always on the road.
I'm holding my ESP just for you.
All right.
Oh, you're giving it to him. It's just for him? That's
No,
very nice of you,
I'm
Dave.
not giving it to him. I'm
that's
holding it for him.
wonderful.
Oh. Okay.
But he can use it whenever he's in New York, although he doesn't need it.
Huh?
He doesn't need it.
Yeah, he's in New York.
Whenever he's in Long Island.
Oh.
Good to know.
What part of New York are you in, Alex?
I am in Brooklyn.
Oh, no kidding.
Not far from downtown Brooklyn.
Yeah, I'm in Glen Cove, Long Island.
Oh, okay. Home of the Glen Cove Mansion.
Yes. Yeah.
Which
Your
was
last
home
year.
of the Satriani G4 experience.
Yeah.
And
And the Vi Academy.
Yeah. And I did the experience there with Joe and Vi and Eric Johnson and Keneally a few years ago. And it was,
That's so
it was a
cool.
blast. Yeah.
That is so cool.
I got to start with something because this has been a running joke between Johnny, Dave, and I for a little while now. Johnny has always said how, I'm friends with Alex. I've known Alex for a while, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, get him on the show.
Yeah.
And
we've been busting Johnny's chops for years now. Come on, get us, Alex, get him on as a guest. Why not? That's what we do here.
So
I'm tough to pin down usually.
I'll try to make this short, but when you were on Jason McNamara's show a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, Jason mentioned, you were on and Johnny, I think, was in the chat, and Jason asked you, "Oh, we got Johnny Beane in the chat. Alex, do you know Johnny?" And for that split second, you had a look on your face like, and then you're like, "Yeah, I've known Johnny for a while." And I was like, "Shit!" I was waiting for like Johnny Beane. Name doesn't really ring a bell.
Who's that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Which one?
Well, there's a lot of Johnnies.
Yeah.
First thing he said, Johnny? I had to take a, but yeah, Johnny Beane, of course. And I had said that day, it was so funny because I had just been on an Instagram live by Charlie Hunter, who's also in, from Berkeley. He had taught at Subway Guitars right before I started teaching there. That little period before I relocated to the East Coast, and that's how I know Johnny, is from that little period. So it's very cool to see, Johnny, to see you emerge with this show. And then, the same guy I know from Tokyo knows you and it has nothing to do with me. And then these other people know you and it has no, and it's cool. It's great to see people from, but between us and Charlie, that little community at Subway Guitars, just we're like all kind of out in the world doing our thing.
It's like the fifth degree of Kevin, or what is it? The Kevin Bacon thing.
Kevin Bacon.
The fifth degree of Alex Skolnick. Like everybody, nobody knows each other, but everybody knows Alex that knows, that kind of thing. Does that make
sense? I do know people. It is interesting. I keep finding this more and more. I know people that know each other, and we sort of all find each other. And there's just I have a lot of mutual friends that it turns out they're friends, and I had no idea they were friends, but then it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
And then the Subway guitar thing is just really hilarious because it's this guitar store in Berkeley, and it's like one of the most Berkeley places there is. Like Berkeley has a special reputation. It's like on the left of the country. It's like the most left place there is. And I described the owner of Subway, Fat Dog, as being like to the left of Bernie Sanders.
Oh boy.
And no, it's true. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way. He's just he was Democratic socialist before it was a thing. And his whole philosophy was, he wanted guitars to be affordable. So you never had guitars like the ones you see on my wall. They were always
you never saw those,
right? No, those didn't. It's like those didn't exist.
Yeah,
it was all these guitars that were like slapped together from parts. But some of them were really cool. But like the wackier, the better. There was like Teisco Del Rey's, there was Hagstrom's, there was Dan Electros. And they were just, these total, like almost art projects. And they just cheap. Yeah. But every now and then one would come through. And I'm saying, what? I think I gotta take this home. And I still have two of them.
Huh. Awesome.
You know what? I should, at some point
in
the show, I should run to the back room and I have at least one that should be accessible.
Awesome. Yeah, it's so cool we can talk about this because I've been doing this show for like 4 or 5 years or something, and I've never mentioned Subway.
Oh wow,
I've kept roots,
it, man.
I know. These two guys have no idea about my history there with our history. That's why this is so cool having you here, Alex, because it's like going back. How many years ago was that?
This was like the early to mid 90s. We're talking like, I guess 94-ish, 95.
It was mainly 94, 95, 96.
Yeah, I think it was like that, those 3 years.
Yeah, because I started working at Subway in the very end of 93, and you were there. I remember
I was already there.
You were there. Yeah,
that
you were there.
Been right when I showed up.
You were there. I remember that was the everybody was saying, "Hey, man, Alex Skolnick from Testament is teaching in this back room back there," and people would come from all over the place to learn from you. I remember.
Yeah, it was kind of surreal because at that point, I was still. It was that was a big turning point. One of those fork in the road periods. Okay, what am I going to do now? Testament had almost imploded. I mean that's not something I can't talk about. Those guys admit it. Like at that point, the band was. I mean, people. I left. The drummer left like within a period of months. The bass player would be gone in a year. Then there'd just be this rotating lineup, and it was just so dysfunctional. So like playing in the band at that point was just not an option. And it was kind of like, okay, well, what am I going to do? And I eventually ended up out here, and went to music school, went to university, got a proper university degree, studied music at the university level. And I guess it took me a few years to just figure out, okay, this is really what I feel like doing. But that whole period of just in between, going from, those first few tours, the last few tours with Testament, we've been with some pretty well-known acts, that bands like Maiden and Judas Priest. And, but I think that was my time to just say, okay, reflect, figure things out. And it was just great to have that option. I think originally I was teaching in a rehearsal studio, but it was so distracting. If you know anything about East Bay rehearsal studios, it's really hard to get anything done.
It's very, very noisy. You can't get away from any sound anywhere.
It's not just noisy, but there's a beautiful thing about it, and it became a frustrating thing about it. The beautiful part of it, is that it's so communal.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think we may have a friend showing up on this broadcast who is an expert in what I'm talking about as far as rehearsal studios.
Yeah.
And he will back me up. But, people, bands, friends, they come, they drop in, they bring beers,
mm-hmm.
they bring, medicinals, back when it wasn't legal. And I just, it was just hard. I realized I needed to not be around and just, rehearsal studios they can be kind of depressing too, right? They're just, they're
mm-hmm.
dark. Even the one where, the one that Dave works, Dave
mm-hmm.
Lopez, who's the guy I'm referring to. It's a great place, but you can only be there for a few hours. You know what I mean? It's just, maybe it depends how sensitive you are, but just like being in a room with no windows and duct tape everywhere. And
you never know what time of day it is when you're in there.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's like Vegas in that respect, without the without the glitz.
Or something that rhymes with that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, I needed to get away from there. And I don't know how I heard that Charlie, maybe he had told me, or maybe a mutual friend, that Charlie was moving to the East Coast. And he was kind of vacating his slot at Subway.
Mm-hmm. Charlie Hunter.
Yeah.
Very well known guitarist.
Great, amazing musician. And he was starting to get very busy, like as a full-time musician. So I mean, okay,
mm-hmm.
well that sounds cool, like being at a guitar store. And then with the room back there, you could totally it was a little room, but it wasn't like dark and dingy and noisy like a rehearsal, but like you could actually chill out there. You could concentrate on the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun. And you had this wacky guitar store connected to it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun to play the guitars. I had a few students that would go in there, and some of these guys, they were not like the Subway guitar crowd at all, right? These were, like total metalheads. But they'd go in there and they find these weird, cheap guitars, and they'd end up buying the guitars.
Yeah. If you don't know about Subway guitars, you've never seen a place like this in your life. It was just the craziest Frankensteinish guitars that I was one of the guys in the back slapping these things together.
That's right.
So
you might have built the ones I have. I'm not sure.
I might have.
Yeah.
I might have. But yeah, if you were like a very serious, guitar collector, you'd walk into this place and you'd be like, this place is insane, And you might see one.
Also,
You might see one like hanging up above somewhere. Like, oh, I want that. Oh, that's not for sale. That one.
Right.
Oh, that one. You can't touch that one. You know.
I mean, it was a lot of them were the ones with like tons of switches. And,
Yeah.
Way too many knobs, or just really out of place, wacky. I mean, it's kind of strange. I mean, I think they're kind of ahead of their time. Like today, if you were to see like St. Vincent or somebody playing one of those guitars, it would make perfect sense.
Yeah. I'm so grateful for the time that I spent there, because I learned about all these different guitars that nobody in my group of friends knew of. And now you see them everywhere. Everybody has them. And I can remember back in the day, oh yeah, I used to slap those things together out of parts, or I'd be rearranging stuff on those things, you know.
I've already learned more about Johnny.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I've been doing the show with these guys for I think it's almost 2 years now. And I've already learned more about Johnny tonight.
Yeah.
Johnny is the most quiet. He doesn't say nothing about himself. You'll ask him a question and he dances around it. He'll dance around it until you're like, finally, just forget it, dude.
He just doesn't like us. That's fine. That's all. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Alex.
No, this is something I've never talked about this ever. So
yeah,
this is
one
perfect.
of the guitars I got. I mean, you've seen the type of guitar. It looks just like one that Jimmy Page is pictured with, Stevie Ray Vaughan is pictured with, and I've seen these guitars selling for a fortune. It's just that the ones there, they were put together from parts.
Yeah.
So it's not like one that was made in the Dan Electro factory and sold at Sears, which was originally where those guitars came from, and that's why all those guys like that, ended up with them. But it's really like the same type of guitar. I've played like real vintage ones that go for a lot of money, and it looks just like one of those guitars. It's just it was slapped together in the back of Subway guitars, probably by Johnny Beane.
And those guitars, I mean, they were original. That was original Dan Electric.
He had bought all the parts. He was way ahead of the curve, as far as that goes. Because nobody wanted those guitars. Nobody wanted those parts. And he just bought them all and put them together. And it's pretty amazing.
So the end of '93, I started working there. That's when I met you. I remember the very first time we met. I remember you came in and you what happened? Like I had a phone call or something. That was the cool thing about back in the day at Subway. That was the cool thing. You never knew who would be answering the phone there. It could be Alex Skolnick answering the phone. You never know who'd be calling. Like so and so would call up. Like, oh, it's Billy Gibbons, asking for Fat Dog or something.
Yeah, he did. There were some legends that were that new Subway guitars and new Fat Dog, and
it's a great name. I'm gonna call myself Fat Dog East from now on.
you guys might actually.
You can't make it up. You couldn't make.
What a great name! So, it's really a great name.
You might see him on here eventually, because he actually lives in the area where I am, and we reconnected recently.
That's amazing.
After 17 years.
He should totally be on. I mean, have so many stories.
After this whole quarantine thing is over, I think you'll see him on here.
So why is he down? He's not in Berkeley anymore, huh?
Nah, he was saying how if you remember back in the day, he was always on a certain day he'd go up to the ranch, on another certain day he'd go down to Santa Cruz. That's how it always was, every week in and week out. Okay. And so now
Santa Cruz for a long time.
Now, yeah. So now I think he's permanently in Santa Cruz, which I never knew. I've been here 5 years. I had no idea he was here.
But the store is still running. I guess I don't know if he's part of it. Yeah.
He said he's got other people working it, and no, it's still there.
So now he's like the mascot or the figurehead.
Yeah.
I remember one time Wavy Gravy came in there
Yeah.
looking for Fat Dog. Do you guys know who that is? I mean, he's,
Wavy Gravy and Fat Dog.
No, this is come on,
this is
really?
People ask like, why did you have to? Why did you want to leave Berkeley?
Wavy Gravy and Fat Dog.
You guys don't know Wavy Gravy?
I try to explain to people why. Yeah, and in Berkeley, like that's so normal. And those are just like the well-known guys. Wavy Gravy is actually famous. Like I had read about him in a book by Tom Wolfe called The Electric Kool-Aid Acid Test, which is about the original when the Grateful Dead was forming. And like Timothy Leary and Wavy Gravy was part of that whole movement. He was in the Woodstock film.
There you go.
I mean, he's
everybody knows.
He's a counterculture celebrity.
Wow.
But I remember he popped in one time. Where's Fat Dog? Yeah.
Yeah. I remember one.
Holy shit, that's Wavy Gravy.
I remember another time I was hanging out because in between working on guitars, I would hang out with Alex in between lessons. I'd walk in and we would talk Van Halen. You know, I'd bring in my.
Johnny was the only guy at the store.
I
could talk about Van Halen with. It was everybody else. You know, it was just like
nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I could talk to them about like Richie Havens or Joan, who's awesome, by the way. And but it was not a big like hard rock or heavy metal contingent.
They'd make fun of me. I was always being made fun of being the Eddie guy. I had the long hair back then. I had super long hair. I was playing the Kramer guitars. I had the EVH Music Man, which I still have, you know. But in between working on guitars, there'd be a lot of times I'd be blasting Van Halen bootlegs, and you would come in and you'd be like, "Hey, can you turn that down?
What the hell?
It's too loud."
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah, or I would say, what year is this?
Yeah. Or hey, let's bring that in here. Let's listen to that.
Yeah.
You know.
How did you get that?
Yeah. Yeah, and that was
freaking Beane. That's why.
That was back in the days before I was online, before the internet or any of that.
Yeah.
So it was crazy. But I do remember one time, Alex, I was back there hanging out with you in between lessons, and this guy is staring in the window at us, and it's Country Joe McDonald.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
Remember Joe McDonald?
That's a perfect example.
Another
I'm trying to
Woodstock.
think of like musicians that they talk about in that store. Sure. Country Joe and the Fish.
Yeah.
For sure. Yes.
Yeah.
And I'll just add one more thing about Wavy Gravy. I mean, he was so well known. There was an ice cream named after him.
Yeah.
Ben and Jerry's ice cream?
By Ben and Jerry's.
Yeah.
That's where I know the name from. That's where I'm like, okay.
Same guy.
Mm-hmm.
Man.
You're too young, Jay.
I guess so.
Oh
We
man.
got to educate you guys in the ways of Berkeley.
Wow. Yeah, it's Berkeley has been a huge scene for decades and decades. I mean, it's a lot of music that came out of there.
The cheap guitar place.
Mhm.
And then Blue Note Music was sort of the upper end, more expensive guitar place.
On Telegraph Avenue.
On Telegraph Avenue, upstairs. That cool little shopping center. And I still have 2 guitars from there, including this one right there. Not the double neck, but the blonde L5.
Yeah, it looks like an L5. Was that like a early 70s L5?
76.
It's nice. Nice guitar. I think Andy Alladort has the same exact guitar, 76.
Oh yeah, I know Andy. Yeah.
And he's a good friend of mine.
Oh yeah, he's a great player, writer.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that guitar. That was like it was so funny too because I'd been, most of the guitars I'd had for few years before that, were the Ibanez's that I played with Testament, some of which I still have.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are great, by the way.
Yeah,
your
awesome
model,
guitars.
Your model was one of the best ones. They should even though you left them, they should never have stopped making that guitar. It's a great guitar.
Yeah, well, they stopped making it, and I never really got a good situation with them, partially because, and I don't blame anyone for this, but I was a kid when I came, when I first got started with them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I was, I guess we were about to make the second Testament record, so I was 19. And I was just so happy to get, a couple of guitars. But then I get, the artist rep who had signed me up, he had some differences with the company and had left. He's become a good friend though. He's actually over at PV Buddha now, Chris Kelly.
Yeah, I know Chris.
Yeah. You know Chris? Okay, great guy. So, and he kind of had my back. Like I guess I felt like low person on the totem pole there, which I can understand at that time. And also, like, thrash metal was just seen as this crazy music. So yeah, I'm this guy. I'm a kid. I'm playing this crazy music. Who knows how long it's going to last? But Chris really had my back, and he was really trying to get them more committed to me. Like, hey, we should work with Alex, get him signature model. And I was looking. I wanted to develop at that time. I wanted to develop as an artist and just sort of not be totally identified with the guitars that I played when I was 19.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually felt good to just take a few years, and I think I needed to be away for a few years as well, and just sort of kind of realign myself musically, geographically. But I enjoyed at that time not having an endorsement. It was weird. And I remember like thinking, oh wow, I can buy and play
other guitar,
any guitar I want.
Yeah.
Now that's the deal you had with them back then, where you had to play only Ibanez's back then.
Pretty much. I mean, yeah, at least for publicly, you needed to. It's a very funny thing with endorsements. It's not there's like this huge gray area, and like the key clause is usually best efforts.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Endorsee will make best efforts to play this instrument. But when I years later, when I connected with ESP guitars, there was. I was just coming with, just in a much better position. Like I'd already sort of proved myself as an artist and proved them that I do more than just thrash metal. And they totally got where I was coming from. And they treated me like one of the top artists, and I still do, which is great. So I understand why at that time I wasn't seen that way at Ibanez, but years later, shopping around for endorsements, I went where I felt the most wanted, and that was ESP. Although before that, I did have an endorsement with Heritage Guitars.
Great guitars,
yeah, amazing guitars, and that kind of ties back to the store I was talking about, Blue Note Music on Telegraph Avenue in Berkeley.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy, James, who ran that place, he was a bit of a character. He was like
a lot of characters in Berkeley, man.
Yeah. So many.
You think?
And ironically, though, he was like a New Yorker, but like the stereotype of a New Yorker. Yeah, I've lived in New York since the late 90s, and I barely know anybody like that. You know, just like so New York and so just
Brooklyn, like, you know,
over the top. Yeah, just. But he was a good salesperson, but he knew guitars. He could play, and he was really he was very passionate about the guitars. He was especially passionate about heritage guitars. So he got me to get my first heritage, which I still have, and I just remember asking him, what if I want to return it? And he just looked at me and said, no one ever returns a heritage. Yeah.
What if I want to return it?
Yeah.
That's good.
So funny.
Yeah. But the funny thing was, though, I ended up I really wanted this one, right? This was like the Cadillac of arch tops right here. If you guys want, I'll take it down and
shit,
show it close up.
Yeah, I love me some L5.
Okay. I'll just finish the story real quick. So that was the one I really wanted. So I ended up getting this one, and I made a deal with myself that I have to use it. I have to like get my improvisation and my jazz skills together, and otherwise it's going to go back. Mm-hmm. And that kind of led to me moving to New York and getting a music degree at the New School, studying with all these great artists, and I just dove in head first. Right around that time, I started studying with this jazz educator in Boston who taught like a lot of my favorite musicians, Charlie Benakos. But anyway, it was a very short time after getting this one that it might have even been around the same time that I sort of the plans were in motion. I got accepted by this music program at the New School. I'm going to be in New York. I realized I'm going to be bopping around the subways. I don't want to take this around in a gig bag and this is like a really pricey. Yeah. So I thought, okay, I have to get another one. I have to get that heritage. So I ended up getting the heritage as well, and that became sort of my around town guitar. And this one, just stays, wherever I'm living. So on that note, I will take it down off the wall and show you guys.
Okay.
1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, awesome.
Cool. And while Alex is doing that, let's read some names really quickly. Let's see who's watching us. Das Metal, Renus Pinkel, Thrash Metal, Ben Combs, Bozique, Mickey Zettelmeyer, Thomas. We got 122 here.
Damn.
A lot of people.
We're rocking tonight, boys.
Yeah.
Very nice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks exactly like Andy's guitar. I mean, exactly like Andy's guitar. That's cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, I not only, I love the sound of it. Like, that's just acoustic.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Right, you can play this as an acoustic guitar.
That's great, man.
Okay, so the big question is...
Why do I have it on C sharp? Anyway.
So the big question is, what gauge strings are those? 12s at least?
These are 12s, yeah. For a long time, I played 13s. But yeah, so I not only liked how it played, but there were just a bunch of signs I needed this guitar. So one was I was heavily getting into Wes Montgomery at the time. Mm-hmm. And there's an album. So Wes had a guitar like a lot like this, a little bit older. And there's one of my favorite albums is this is live at the Subo, which is a club, and I think it was the year I was born too. But that's it. It was in the club is in Berkeley. So it's like this, almost this exact guitar. Wes is on the cover of this album, playing it in Berkeley.
Mm-hmm.
It was also owned by Calvin Keys, who's like a Bay Area jazz guitar legend. So it's got this history, and it's just an awesome guitar.
Beautiful.
Yeah, last year I had to have some major work done on it. But the amazing thing is that I've barely had work done on it the whole time. And I think one time I brought it in, probably like the early 2000s. But, you know, you hear stories now about, you know, there was a period of Gibson, like fairly recently. I mean, I know they've been, you know, they have new management and ownership now.
Mm-hmm.
But over the last few years, you would hear these stories about, you know, necks breaking and, you know, just really bad quality control. Like, and then, yeah, this is one from the 70s, and it's been through winters, New York heat waves, and it's just, they don't make them like this. Yeah,
and it's a New Orleans guitar as well, and it's a, you know, some most of those guitars, well, the solid bodies at least were not great, but those hollow bodies, they were all fantastic. They were just all fantastic, and some of the best ones came out of the 70s back then. Those guitars.
Yeah, which is so interesting because in the 70s, there weren't, I guess there wasn't that much of a demand for these guitars. You know, 70s was sort of, you know, jazz rock was happening.
Mm-hmm.
Traditional jazz wasn't a thing anymore like it was in the 60s. So it's kind of this lost art. But the ones that they did make were incredible.
Yeah.
But it started getting this very strange thing. I mean, you can almost, I guess, if you look at the corner of the pickup.
Yeah, we could. Yep,
you
I
can
can
see
see
there's
that.
like a little bit of
I see it.
a stain there, which is unavoidable. But that was like creeping up all over the place, and I flipped out, and I just thought, "Oh my God, I have mold."
The blob.
And the guitar is like getting mold.
Poor thing.
I brought it to. I've gotten to be friends with this guy, Matt Umanov.
I know that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a legend, guitar repair legend. He does Clapton's guitars. He does Metheny's guitars. And he's a character. He's hilarious. He was good friends with Les Paul. And he just told me to settle down. What happened is they used to make these guitars and the pickups with celluloid. And it's the same thing that the reason they've had to restore a lot of old movies is because celluloid deteriorates after a while.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not mold, it's like the natural deterioration of the celluloid. And in the 80s, they stopped using it.
Yeah, they stopped making guitar picks out of celluloid.
Yeah. So, and it was only certain guitars, like Les Paul, solid bodies like Les Pauls and SGs didn't have it. But these guitars did. So he did this whole, he cleaned it up amazingly. Like the wood, the wood looks almost, I wouldn't say new, but it looked, it's great condition. It had that what's here on the metal. It had that like all over the place.
Yeah.
So
it looks fantastic. It looks fantastic, and it sounds fantastic, and I'm glad you have it.
Thank you. This is not even plugged in. Sounds even better plugged in.
That's amazing.
Very cool.
Ah.
So is that a 335 behind you, or is that an Ibanez AS200? Looks like an AS200.
Neither.
Okay.
Which one are you're talking about?
The one behind your head. Yeah.
That one.
Yep.
That is that's my newest guitar. I'll bring that up. Hang on 1 second.
Awesome.
Hey, before we get the other guys in, I got a fanboy for a few minutes. So,
Well, we got names we got to read. This is insane. Plus, I have to mention that this is also a podcast on iHeartRadio now.
I got texted some questions today from a couple buddies who are in the chat. I think OJ and Brian Henderson from the band Byzantine are watching right now. So,
Cool.
So this is a 347 that they only made these in the 70s and the 80s. It's an offshoot of the 335. I'll show you the top. And this is one I had no plans to get. I had no reason for a guitar like this. I always thought, okay, well, I have my thick arch top. I actually have a few of them. I have, you can see there's the other blonde one there is D'Angelico. I have 2 Heritage arch tops, a couple Godin arch tops, which aren't as high end, but they're pretty nice. So I have arch tops. I have solid bodies. Why would I need a guitar that's sort of a hollow body, feels like a solid? But this guitar just blew me away, and I found it in Replay Guitar Exchange in Tampa, and it had come in the night before, and I just wanted to visit the store because I had done a workshop there. I'd done an appearance, and I was back in town for a day, and I just said, okay, you know what? I have a little time. I want to make sure to get over there and just check out the guitars, and I couldn't stop playing this guitar, and so it plays like electric, but it's also got it's got all these it's got different sounds, right? It has a coil tap switch, which was kind of a new thing back then. This was one of the first guitars. Now I have the same thing on my ESP, so you can put the pickups out of phase, and it sounds a little more like a Stratocaster. Kind of gives it that twang. But on these guitars, that was kind of a new thing. And then these, this bridge with the, these tuners that would end up, those are very familiar now for like Floyd Rose's. But back then, that was a totally new thing. And it just plays great. So it does like everything the 335 does, but it's hot rodded.
Yeah.
Very nice guitar.
That's great. I love that guitar.
Does that have a Veritone on it as well?
What's that?
Does that have a Veritone switch on it as well?
Well, no, it's got the coil tap.
Yes. Yeah.
And then just the normal switch. But, you end up with, 6 different options as far as sounds.
Sure.
And, I originally, I was going to use this for some more blues-based music that I'm working on. But it's so funny. It sort of found this accidental usage. But I just did this this challenge from my friends Rodrigo and Gabriela to do a pop tune. This chart-topping dance pop tune.
Uh-huh.
And they asked some other musicians as well, a pianist, some oud player, and everybody's done cool, strange versions of it. But I did one. I ended up doing the solo guitar version of it, kind of moody and atmospheric on this guitar, and somehow it worked perfect with this guitar. And I got an email yesterday, and this my performance on this guitar doing that pop song is in Billboard magazine as a feature.
Right.
Awesome.
I saw that. That's congratulations, man.
Thanks. And also New Musical Express, like, so it's kind of surreal, like all these pop publications are sort of are sharing this video, and
Mhm.
it's this guitar. I don't know if I would have done that had I not had this guitar. Somehow it just made that happen. So the guitar is not plugged in, but I would suggest if you want to hear the guitar, that's a good way to hear it. Just go to my YouTube channel or just look up Alex Skolnick, Billboard, or New Musical Express, or any of my feeds.
Okay, or your Twitter. I think I
Yeah,
saw
it's on
some of
my-
that on your Twitter feed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's on all that stuff.
Cool.
But yeah, it's so funny. So every guitar has a story.
Mm-hmm.
And the one, the double neck, is that was for a gift, a token of appreciation for my work in the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, which I did from about the early 2000s till the late 2000s. Like most of that decade, I would, for the holidays, I would do this tour. The first couple tours I did, we'd play theaters for a few weeks.
That's where I saw you. I saw you
Sometimes multiple nights.
Radio City.
Yeah, and that was fun. I don't think I never played Radio City with them. We played the Beacon.
I'm sorry. Yes, the Beacon, not Radio City. Yeah, Beacon.
Yeah. And then somehow I started my involvement with them just as it really started blowing up. I actually took 1 year off. I toured for I think 2 years. I took 2003 off. I just wasn't sure, and then I actually reassessed. I said, okay, you know what? I can do my other stuff. I'm going to do that. I'm just going to find a weird balance. So it'll be like, that's my sort of super Marvel Comics movie. And then my instrumental stuff will be my indie film stuff. And I kept it going. I kept it going till about 2009. And then suddenly my trio was getting tours, and we were like starting to tour all over the place. And at that point, Testament was resurrected, and we'd just been doing reunion shows here and there. And then there was this offer to tour with Priest, Heaven and Hell, and Motorhead. If we have a new, and then it's like, okay, new album. We're back. We got to make a record. I never got my hair like it was in the early '90s, but the hair's got to come out. And, but yeah, with TSO, so there was a song where that double neck guitar was featured, and like everybody would stop. There'd be like a couple dozen people on stage, and it would just stop, and there was this moment of just picking that guitar, like a very kind of Yes type thing.
So with TSO,
and,
was there such thing? Was there a such thing as like all the instruments had to be white or something like that? I think there's something like that now. I'm not sure if it was always like that, but they have to have white instruments now. Everything.
Maybe now that I haven't been there for a long time, and I haven't seen it in a long time.
White or flashy is all I want now for guitar players, for guitarists, for guitars themselves.
Maybe that's possible. I know at first you could kind of bring whatever you wanted. Like I had my gold top Les Paul. Actually, that was always fine. I like a classic guitar, and then I played my heritage guitars. It was, but I do remember. I guess as it went on, at least while I was there, I never had to really do that. I do remember like some of the other musicians were more like the flash people,
Mm-hmm.
and they would like go out into the audience at the end and do all that stuff. I was more like, yeah, just I just focused on the music, and I just I played the instruments I wanted to play. But it wouldn't surprise me if now it's like there's like a dress code as far as the instruments.
Alex, speaking of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra stuff, was there a point where there was two different bands, like they split it up so like they could hit different areas at the same time, or am I wrong there?
Always.
Okay, because my wife, well, girlfriend at the time, my wife now, this was probably around 2003 or 4. We went and saw Trans-Siberian in Albany at the Pepsi Center.
Oh yeah,
because I thought I was going to be seeing you play guitar there, and it wasn't you, and I was pissed.
Was it Al Petrelli?
It probably was Petrelli. I don't know. I can't remember.
That was okay. So I was there, but I wasn't there. See, the thing is, there's always been 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think my group played Albany every year except that year.
Oh, of course, the 1 year I go.
Because they did a couple reroutings.
Mm-hmm.
So usually, and they called them the East Coast band and the West Coast band. Even though it's technically not right, because like both, we never played the West Coast, but they would sometimes play the East Coast. That usually they played Florida. But I remember like that year we played Florida, I believe. Like we took over some of the cities they usually did. They took over some of the cities we usually did. But then we came back to Albany. I guess they decided that was better routing. And then, I know that arena so well. I just played there not that long ago on the Slayer tour. Mm-hmm. So the Slayer farewell tour. It was weird because like I just did so many shows, and I know I would walk by these rooms. That's where, well, actually the catering room is the same, and I would just sit in there, and I was like, oh my god, what tour am I on? This is weird.
What year is this?
Yeah.
Who am I?
Also, that's a great thing about that. Doing tours like that, you learn these places, you learn about these arenas, and some of them just don't change at all. The Pepsi Center does not change, and some of the folks there when I was there, just a year and a half ago with Slayer, and on that tour, some of the crew people remembered me. Some of the local crew they knew me from TSO, and it just feels like you could do a gig there now, and it probably doesn't feel that much different than, say, the 70s.
Wow. That's crazy.
Well,
but then there's also like really new arenas that are, but that's one that's just been there forever, and it doesn't seem to change. And
just change the name, I guess, right? That's the only thing really that they changed about it, right?
Yeah, well, they all change. They all change depending on who owns
advertising.
them.
Yep.
In fact, I did a tweet about that got a lot of attention. Even Bonamassa and a bunch of other people were reacting to it. I was just so thrilled. We played a place called the Nash. I think it was that same tour with Slayer. We played the Nashville Civic Auditorium.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, the Nashville Civic Auditorium, not Pepsi Arena, not Dunkin' Donuts Center,
PNC something, yeah,
PNC Bank Arts Center, Jiffy Lube Block, like,
yeah.
I just remember these places had character.
Mm-hmm.
I miss that.
Same as like the baseball and football field, like same thing, It's like,
oh yeah, I mean, to me, I remember Candlestick Park.
Yeah, yep.
And I remember seeing it advertises 3 Calm Park.
Right
when Silicon Valley was starting to happen. I was like, what?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Did you ever play the Cow Palace?
Yeah. Cow Palace is still the Cow Palace. Though.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thank
it's still
you.
there, but it's all like gun shows now.
Is that right?
And hemp
You can't
fest.
say that word.
You can now.
No, I'm sorry. You can't say show anymore. Oh.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Well, before we go too much farther, can let me just get my fanboyism out of the way?
I know. We haven't
Again?
even started. This is crazy, man.
Yeah. So most people remember where they were the first time they heard a band or a song from a band and like instantly became like a fan, right?
Right.
I remember not only where I was, I remember the date of when it was. The date is, and the reason I know this, I'll explain in a second, but it was July 17th, 1990. And the reason I know it is because I was at my best friend's house sleeping over. His brother was a huge headbanger, and he went to the Flotsam and Jetsam show at at Toad's Palace in New Haven, Connecticut. Right?
Toad's Place, yeah.
Toad's Place. I'm sorry, you said Cow Palace. Now I'm thinking everything's Palace.
Yeah.
Toad's Place in Connecticut. So he went to the show, and he had all of his, thrash metal CDs, and he was a huge headbanger. So we start going through them. Well, let's see this one. It's Testament. It's got a cool ass album cover. Practice What You Preach. I'm like, shit, let's pop this in. Bow. I was like, what is this? Grabbed the blank cassette, dubbed it right there, and it was like, that was it, man. It's one of those like just moments where I still remember the first time I heard it, and super cool.
You dubbed it.
I dubbed it, but I ended up buying it on CD.
Buy it.
I did buy it because one of the main
We're gonna
reasons
have
I
to come
bought
after you for that, man.
Insert foot and mouth right now.
it. Yeah, no. And
Can't say dubbed on here.
I think the statute of limitations.
Yeah. So the last track on the album, the instrumental Confusion Fusion. I'm having to look this up because now I'm getting all nervous
Yeah, right.
about fanboying. But one of the main reasons I went out and bought it real quick is because the tape wasn't long enough. Side B wasn't long enough. It cut it right in the middle, and I was like, "Oh, I got to hear the rest of the song." So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
The response to that has been great. I would say that was the album where that was another turning point to that album, because I felt like I loved the songs that we'd done up to there, but I just felt like just as a player, as a solo, I just felt like, okay, I could do another album where most of the solos are in E minor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's largely pentatonic, and it's not that different from what you're hearing on. And just something in me was just thinking, okay, I have to find something different. And it was hard to do. I couldn't do it on every song, but on a few songs on that record, I feel like I was able to sort of open a door and really kick it down and enter some new places. I mean, the title track, that had the solo on that. Like, that could have ended up just being, me soloing over the main riff, which was also E, going. No. And I just like, we could take this somewhere. This could go places. I'll we can illustrate what I'm talking about. I don't know if this is the best guitar for it, but it's acoustic. So right, so the whole song is right. So I could have ended up just soloing to that.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, I had this thing laying around, which was it was an exercise. Right, so it was like a modal thing. And remember, at this time, Surfing with the Alien had come out. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't studied with Joe in a few years. I studied with him when I was 15. From like ages 15 to 16. And then I was 16 when I joined the band.
But was that in Berkeley?
Yeah, so that was another store called...
Was that on up the street?
Yeah, it was right up the street from Subway.
On Martin Luther King. And right across from
exactly.
Applebee's?
Exactly,
yeah.
Okay. Applebee's was open then?
Not Applebee's. Fat apples. Fat apples.
Fat apples.
Fat apples.
Yeah, we had Fat Dog. We had Fat Apples.
Yeah.
Now you have Fat Nesdall.
Yeah.
No, No, Fat Apples was like it was actually a really good place. It was a cafe, really good. And then the guitar store was across the street. Secondhand Guitars, I think it was called, right?
Yeah. Secondhand.
Guitars.
I did a like back in 2012. I was able to do one of these type of video chats with Satriani, and of course I brought up Fat Dog, and he told some stories about back in the day. Because did he teach at Subway? Like
No, Joe taught at Secondhand Guitars.
Secondhand, but
I believe.
But he would walk down the street to Subway.
Yeah,
so I remember seeing pictures in some of Fat Dog's photo albums, you know, in the back of Satriani in like the late 70s or early 80s, like hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, the whole
guitar
community back then in Berkeley. Yeah, I mean, those guys were a huge part of it. So, so I studied with him at Secondhand Guitars. And I know, I always tried not to sound too much like him and because everybody was trying to sound like him. But then when Surfing with the Alien came out, you had to be influenced by that a little bit. So I remember I busted out my Joe notes because a lot of the stuff was over my head at the time, all the modes and stuff. I just didn't get it, all these diagrams. And I just started working really hard and just getting that stuff down. One of the things I did was I came up with this exercise. And it was kind of like, in Surfing with the Alien, like that kind of groove, like, right. And I was just imagining like a picking, right. And then it was like a modal exercise. So I go from this mode to this mode. Back again, and it was around the same tempo as Surfing with the Alien. So then, when we did Practice What You Preach, right, we had this. It was a lot faster.
Yes.
Right. So again, I could have just soloed over that, which would have been like, I didn't want to do that. So I suggested I didn't even think they would be into the idea, but I just said, I have this one thing. It's like this. But at that tempo, it becomes. Anyway, so that was where that solo came from. So that whole solo was like this composition I had just for practicing Satriani stuff. And then all that you can see the lines. It's like, there's my Phrygian, there's my Aeolian. And I just followed those chords. So it worked and it was different. And that was where it came from.
It's definitely one of my favorite. It's my favorite Testament song and solo. And that album, I mean, usually it is like the first album you hear from like one of your favorite bands. It usually ends up being like your favorite album. Obviously there's some, times it's not the case, but I think sonically that album is killer too. The guitar tone, it fits. I listen to it now and it's still to me, sounds killer.
Yeah, it's kind of raw and
raw but polished enough. You know what I mean? It's
but I think also there was just a lot of live playing there because I always loved how we sounded live in the room, and I just, as cool as the recordings were, I just felt like they were missing something. So that record, just really has live playing. The next couple records, we kind of had a blend of like live tracks and more layered songs.
Yeah.
But that album is like entirely live. Cool. So cool. Well, thank you. So that's your big moment.
Alex, I gotta ask you: is that multi-act red or pink?
It's whatever you want it to be.
Well, speaking of the preach
And usually
solo,
it's in perfect tune. Of course, when I'm on the air, it's like going crazy.
I'm only asking
This is a great guitar.
because first of all, I love the multi-act. I love those guitars. But if that's an off color, I would love it even more. It's beautiful.
No, it's a standard red.
Oh, it's red. Okay.
It's probably the reflection.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I see. It's reflecting lights and stuff like that.
well, Alex, speaking of the preach solo, there's that guitar kind of show. I can't remember the name of it. I should have taken notes because I'm not a professional, so I didn't take notes. But you were on this guitar show, like kind of like an American Idol-y type of thing, where these kids were, they're playing guitar and they're being judged and stuff like that. So
it's basically Canadian Idol for guitar. And
so you were a guest
called
on
Shredders of Metal is what
Shredders of Metal. Okay,
yeah.
So I watched it recently again, and it's cool because you they have to learn the first lick of the first part of your solo from Preach.
Right.
And I had a couple questions like, how long did each of them have to learn that? Did you show them it, or was it just like, hey, learn that lick?
I didn't show them that at all. Like every interaction I had, other than sort of hanging out during lunch break and stuff, you saw on camera.
Okay. Do you know how long they had to learn that lick? Was it a day or was it an hour or what?
Gosh, I don't. I think it was long. It was certainly longer than an hour.
Okay. Yeah.
I think. That's a good question. No, actually, I don't think they had that long, because I remember. Yeah, because we did multiple episodes in one day.
Okay.
And I don't think they knew what the challenges were going to be.
Oh man. Well, I
don't think they didn't have much time at all.
How hard was it for you to like sit there and because obviously they're zooming in on your face when some of these
They did a great job at that too. Production, like when it's not working. And I can't hide. I could never work in a corporate office where you just have to put on this face or work in a bank, hi,
how are you?
Or a rent-a-car place, thanks for coming to Avis. How can I help you? My name is Alex. No. Thank goodness I learned how to play this damn instrument, because I could never do that. And I think shooting that show, they did a great job just capturing my honest expressions. Sometimes very favorable, sometimes not so favorable. Yeah, they're really good producers, those guys. I mean, they made the film that's on Netflix now about ZZ Top, and they did the Rush documentary. I mean, they're pros. So awesome. As fun as it was to make the show, watching it back was just a blast, because the way they put it together, I thought was so fun.
Well, you did a good job not completely murdering them on camera. So
figure they're under enough pressure. I mean,
I could imagine having to play your part in front of you and like just learning it. Like, oh shit, are you kidding me? Yeah. Yeah,
and what good is it going to do if I take the tact of like the strict music teacher that just gets angry and no.
What song are you playing?
It's not gonna help.
Yeah.
It's more my style. I would rather say something like, maybe this just isn't your style.
Yeah, you did say that. That was one of those.
Yeah. You can play. I hear you can play. You just need to work on different stuff.
Yep.
This is not for you. But then the guy that won was Frankie C is his name. Yeah. Great. Yeah, he's smoking.
Yep. That was cool.
That's crazy.
So, yeah. Any other questions? Because
there's a buttload.
Okay.
We haven't even gotten any questions.
Okay.
We've got other people here too that are waiting to come on.
Yeah. Do you have audience questions as well, or is it just?
There's
a lot of
people watching, and we got
I'll
there's
start looking.
questions in the chat.
If you're in the chat, ask your questions now. Oh, actually, we do have some comments.
Yeah, what are the people saying?
Let me see. Boner Jams. Okay, Boner Jams
Okay.
said
That's the guy's handle.
yeah. He says Alex Skolnick, we're not worthy. New Testament album is great. Congratulations. Apology for the how do you say that word? Abundance of exclamation points, but tough to contain my excitement. Happy Friday.
Very nice.
Abundance.
Thank you, Boner Jams.
Boner Jams. Thank you so much, man.
If any of us need a good porn name, there it is.
Ronald Henry says good version of the national anthem before the Chicago Bulls game last November.
Oh, thank you so much. That was really fun. That was my first time doing something like that, and that's a lot of pressure. I mean,
Wow.
That's one of the two highest pressure playing situations I've had, because everybody's looking at you. Just everything stops, and it's an arena full of people. And right, I'm not a big basketball guy, but I know enough. You know, the Bulls are not. They're not. It's not the Bulls from the '80s with like Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and everybody, and they're not doing that great lately. But it doesn't matter because people love the Bulls. It's just like in Chicago, it's just a part of the culture. So it doesn't matter if they're the championship team or, they're just they're regrouping. They're growing. But it's full. They're packed. So it's like this, packed house, news cameras. They bring out military personnel to pay tribute to, and they're all there. And then they point the finger, and there's no do-overs.
Right.
So that was really exciting. That was not that long ago. That was just last November.
That's cool.
Thank you. I've gotten a lot of great feedback about that. I'll just tell the other most high pressure playing situation I've had was with Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Special guest was John Anderson of Yes. And we played in Philadelphia, which was Yes's biggest market in the U.S. Apparently, they're just Yes fanatics there. I had no idea. Sold out show, 14,000 people.
Wow.
And we're playing Roundabout, and I have to play the intro. And the founder of Trans-Siberian Orchestra, who's left us a few years ago, Paul O'Neill, may he rest in peace. He was a bit eccentric, and right before going on, he comes up to me and he says, Alex, that's John Anderson of Yes. He's used to Steve Howe playing it. Play it great. This is Yes's biggest market. There's 14,000 people out there. Don't screw it up.
Lovely. Gotta love that.
It's not that hard to say, right? It's just like... That's not that hard. It's hard in that situation because, you could hear a pin drop and there's so many people. And also, you have to time it out in your head because the keyboard comes in, right? You guys know the song.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's like a swell. So it's like 2, 3, 4. Or however it goes. I'm not. I got to brush up on it. But.
Good thing you didn't play it like that. No.
Right, and then finally. all this cool stuff in that song.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in that song.
I never knew that.
And it was the 70s, of course.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we
Very
did
cool.
it, but it was the way I that was great training for doing the national anthem, because I kind of had to do the same thing. It was like going into this headspace where you just have to pretend you're just practicing. That's pretty much it. That's kind of how I deal with those situations. But that piece especially was so hard because everybody's cueing off of you. So you really like have to count the seconds that you're holding the harmonics and everything.
And then you all know when the live adrenaline kicks in, those seconds get a little shorter between themselves. You know what I mean?
That's the thing too, because you're out there.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Right now, I could say, "Oh, excuse me, guys, I'm gonna do it again." Right?
Yeah.
It was like that. There's like,
oh, we gotta do it over.
yeah. Can you imagine in front of 14,000? Sorry, John. Sorry.
Everybody leave and come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I screwed it up. I dropped the pick. Yeah.
So funny.
Alex, I got to cut everybody off and ask you a question. If I don't ask you this question from my buddy, he's gonna literally do something really bad to me.
Chap you off.
His name is Brian from the band Byzantine, and he wants to know if you still have the lipstick red Ibanez saber that you used to have back in Old School Testament.
I do.
Oh, he's gonna be pumped.
I'm kicking myself because I dug out a guitar the other day from the closet. I should have just grabbed that and gotten it out. If you guys want to wait a couple minutes, I could dig it out.
Whatever time you have for us, we'd be happy for it.
And so will you.
Give me one. Let me run back there and see if it takes more than like 3 minutes. I'll skip it. But,
we'll time you.
Okay. All right, hang on.
Awesome. Wow. And Dave Lopez, where are you, man? His internet is crashing.
Is it?
So trying to get Lopez in here. Yeah, it's wow.
These things go so fast when you got a guest on, man. Especially Alex. Like, he's super cool. The stories are awesome.
Yeah.
Time is floating.
Yeah.
I know, it's great.
Yep.
So to let you guys know, we do have other guests that are going to pop in here. The one of them, his internet is like on and off. So
Should probably try to get him in here now.
Well, he's not here.
Right.
He's not here. He left. He's gone.
Get him in while his internet's not working. Pull him in here.
His internet's out.
I get it now.
Da-da-da.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Man, I remember that guitar. Holy crap.
Oh,
Oh.
there it is. The one that started it all. It exists.
Thumbnail.
I get asked about this guitar.
I bet you it's still in tune.
I don't know about that. Wow, it's actually locked.
Wow.
Yeah, the tremolo. This needs. I'm gonna get this tuned up though. I gotta. As soon as we're free to leave our houses.
You send it over here, I'll be happy to do it and send it back. That's what I do.
Yeah. No, this is.
I'm not that far away from you.
I know. I gotta play this more. I mean, I'm kind of on this thing now. I want to play all the guitars I have, so I'm trying to rotate and play a couple different guitars every day. But yeah, this is it's a fun instrument, and yeah, it's great to sit with it. I'm amazed how thin it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny because these days, as you can see, I play these thick guitars. My signature guitar is very thick. My L5, I play fat arch tops. I mean, look how thin that is.
Yeah.
But it was great. No, it did the job, and look at the neck on this is so thin.
Mm-hmm.
Was that officially your model?
No.
Because
it was called the Saber. It was the 540S. There was another guitar that they had me take a photo with that ended up in a catalog, and I did have a couple versions of that guitar, called the 540P. But that guitar, it was never my model. But a lot of people think it was.
A lot of people do think it was. Yep.
Yeah. That was part of the confusion, and that was one of the reasons why, things didn't work out with Ibanez. So it's like, okay, guys, if people think this is my model,
let's make it.
Let's give me a deal so I have a model, and it just didn't happen. But
yeah, because back in the day when we were hanging out, I took a trip to New York City. You might remember this. And I went to a store and I asked them, "Hey, do you have the Alex Skolnick model?" And the guy went and he grabbed the guitar and brought it right to me.
And it was probably one of those, right?
Yeah. And I remember when I came back to Berkeley, to Subway, I told you that story.
I don't remember that, but I believe
it. So let's see. We got Dave Lopez. Are you here? Can you hear me? Let's see. Let's get Dave in here. Dave.
Yo.
Yo.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
We got you, man.
Dave Lopez. I know that.
Oh, fucking great. My internet went out for like 5 minutes. Oh, dude. I love that guitar.
Hear Dave.
Look at that.
Oh, he can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Dave, can you drop out and come back in? That should be the problem.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
Dave Lopez, everybody.
Yeah. And just to let you know, Dave Lopez, I met at Alex's birthday party. That's how I know
you guys met. Oh,
that's how we met. Was at your apartment at your birthday, and then he told me how he was involved with Soundwave, and that's how I got involved with being at Soundwave all the time.
Oh, that's amazing. So I was the connection.
Yeah, there's all these little connections, man. Dave.
All good?
What up? You hear me?
Yes.
Dude, you know what's crazy? You guys were talking about Subway, talking about 1993. And that's when I met Alex when you did your last show at Testament at Halloween. And I loved your shit from the studio. You were jamming with Atma Anur. I don't know if you remember that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I loved your stuff when we went to Jackson Street and the whole studio stuff. And Subway, Michael Franti used to be at Subway Guitars. I mean, I just saw Fat Dog a little while ago. So it's pretty cool hearing all you guys talk about this because I was there, and it's so pretty badass.
Yeah.
So it's a trip. And that guitar, I've held that guitar many times. But remember, weren't you endorsed to Charvel for a minute?
Oh God, very briefly. Yeah.
See, I remember that shit. How about
one endorsement term, which is like a year?
Yeah.
And then it's sort of floating, and then I remember Ibanez you were mad at Ibanez because they wouldn't give you a George Benson guitar. Do you remember that? You're like, dude, could I get a George Benson? Like, were like, I forgot about that. Yes.
See, because we hung out
I totally forgot about that. I was mad at them because they wouldn't give me a legitimate deal for a signature guitar.
Yes. But I remember all that time. And after Testament,
I'm sure I wanted a hollow body. I was probably at that time thinking,
the George Benson Ibanez.
You guys can't give me one of these guitars, It's like how many of these have people bought because they've seen me play it, and you're not going to give me a signature guitar. You're not going to give me one of these hollow bodies. What am I doing? Come on.
And if I remember right, you went and did other bands after Testament, but in 93, 94, that Bay Area was dead, dude. So the grunge took over, punk rock. It was like a different time, So it was
exactly
a different thing. So you followed your I need to go grow as an artist. And you moved to New York. That's what I remember at that time. You were like, there's nothing going on here. And every time I go to New York, there's an energy there. And I remember all that shit. I remember throwing the the going away party.
Yeah,
at
thanks.
Jackson
That was
Street, where I
fun.
lived there.
That was really
It was an
fun.
incredible party. So all these things you're talking about is cool. It's bringing back a lot of memories. So
Yeah, the two
yeah,
parties
man.
I remember where I was sort of the guest of honor or whatever was
Yes.
the birthday party at my, because I'm not a big party person, but
Oh
that-
yeah, you are. You party. I've seen you party.
I had my moments,
But
right? I don't like
Yeah.
going. I partied, but I didn't like going to parties or especially throwing parties. But I did. I remember that birthday, and I forget if I was already on my way out, so that was like my last birthday party. But then the going away party was just so fun.
Well, the difference is it wasn't like a party. It was like a music party. Everybody got to play guitar and jam with Alex. You know, Alex is leaving. We're jamming. Everybody was jamming, passing guitars. It's like a different kind. You get to drink and play guitar. Those are good parties.
Yeah.
All the other parties.
I got to play all of Alex's guitars, all those Testament guitars that you guys are all drilling over. I got to play all those. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Me too.
Yeah, so you had my Testament guitars in the same corner as like the Subway specials.
I remember you were
the
hiding,
long
Alex. I remember you were hiding your guitars because you didn't want people touching them. But of course, people
they
found them.
Yep. Yeah, my friends forget it though.
That's funny.
That's funny.
I could not put anything past my friends, my Bay Area crew.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is fun. I mean, I guess I always think of you guys as knowing each other, so I completely forgot that was the hookup.
Yeah,
was at my place. That's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
All these years later.
Yeah,
Look
dude.
at you guys.
It's look at us. We're fucking here. Dude. So, but I just want to say something. I know I told you already. The new record is tremendous, dude. I love it. I love what you're doing. You're playing is, because I've been a fan. So I heard you play the first time the Legacy demo back in the 80s, and I hear it at the local Bay Area. See, you got to remember Bay Area, like you're hanging out with like everybody, guitar players, there's so much stuff going on, and everybody, you'd hear like the new band or the Green Days and all this. It's like a very cool thing. And I remember hearing that it was the hottest shit. It was the Legacy, Low in the Dark, and that's how I heard about you and then became a fan. But this record, it's like you pushed it. You're like still growing, man, and I'm fucking juiced. Symptoms still my favorite track. I still think that's my favorite track. You're soloing on it's killer. So enough of the kissing ass. Just got to give you props because I really feel really good about it. I wasn't a fan of the last one too much, but this record, I feel you're in it more. Because I remember the Exhibit A riffs, some of those riffs from back in the day, and I could hear your style and your vibe into it. So it's a beautiful thing. So more like
I got
Testament,
a couple whole compositions that ended up, because Testament, it becomes kind of a machine a little bit.
Yeah.
And
blast beats.
I got to give credit to Eric. He's the one guy. He started the band, and he's the one guy who's been there the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, props to Eric. But what made Testament cool is the fact that you had sins of admission. You know what I mean? There was a balance. Yeah.
So
that's
when
one
I
of
send
my
him
favorite
something,
jams.
I don't know if they're I'm hoping he'll just like a piece of the song. But this time there were like two whole songs, Symptoms and Code of Hammurabi. And
that's
also,
the other one.
Oh,
it kills me. That kills me, dude. And I knew it was you for some reason because I know you so well. Sorry, I haven't really seen him in a minute, so I wanted to let him know that I'm a fan of the new record because I wasn't a fan of the other ones as much. Like the last Snake record, I was, it's cool.
Whoa.
Solos are cool, but this is fucking phenomenal. So
Well, also even the stuff, the stuff that's more Eric. We worked on it together, and I told him, why are you have this great riff you're doing for like 2 seconds. Why are you doing that? That should be like the main. So I would sort of try
like how you guys used to do it back in the day. You guys did
how we did it. So hopefully
it sounds like it.
That hopefully that works. It was fun, and also I'm also pushed to play better than I did before because I feel like I'm developing so much. My instrumental side is developing, so why shouldn't the metal side develop? And also back then, there were so few people who played technically doing metal. It was more like metal playing. It was more raw. It was more punk rock, which was cool.
Well,
more like the Slayer Motorhead style until Marty came along. And then me and him were like the technical guys, but we were really kind of isolated. But now there's so many like really good technical players. Every guy that's been in Megadeth since Marty.
No.
The guy from Black Dahlia Murder is really great. Jeff Loomis.
They're great guys.
Yeah,
I agree with you. But I remember that this music being created in the Bay Area, right?
Right.
And I heard all the Kirk Hammett's, all the guys we love. But when Legacy came out, it was like the first time you heard someone do a sweep, like made it like technical, like a real crazy technician over thrash metal, and that was the beginning of it. Like, well, what's that song on New Order?
Trial by Fire.
Dude, that's it. That changed the game. Like that was the first time, because you hear that stuff in more of the metal, more King Diamond, that kind of stuff. But thrash metal, what we created in the Bay Area here, you were the first guy to do that. Just saying. I don't know if you know that, but I remember because I was, seeing it. So, But
it made sense to me because I liked that stuff. I was listening to a lot of Yngwie, Ozzy with Randy, that first Dio record with Vivian. I mean, that's some killing playing. But I was listening more like that type of stuff. And that's all like one guitar, sort of power metal, whatever it is. Either, it's influenced by like Blackmore or Van Halen or whatever. But most of the technical players ended up in glam bands. I didn't want to play in a glam band. I didn't want to wear scarves and like spandex and capizios and
I did. I wanted to do all that shit. I know Johnny did too. I remember that.
I kind of did. Yeah.
But I liked for going to shows. I liked going to the heavy shows. I liked going to the Exodus shows.
Yeah. And they're great. All those guys are really good. They're really good at the whammy stuff. And that was a different thing. So,
it was a different thing.
Props to you. You influence a lot of people to be good on guitar and playing cool riffs, Sometimes cool riffs don't have good guitar solos, and you change that. So props to you again, my brother.
Right on, my brother.
Big fan. So I wanted to talk to you guys about, I'm friends with Jason Becker. I don't know if you guys, your viewers or anybody.
Who? Jason Beane. And they should know about
Who's
the
that?
film. The film that you had a big part in.
Yeah.
Not dead yet.
Bay Area is like we talked about, a lot of music, a lot of community, and Jason was the guy who grew up the street, and he became, he's a tremendous guy. I'm still really close with him. He's my brother, and we did benefit shows or Not Dead Yet festivals, which I haven't had Alex play yet. One of these days,
we've been trying.
We're gonna have Alex come out.
Yeah.
I'm trying. That's going to be tremendous.
Schedules are not lined up.
I know. But we have this guitar that we just sold. It's similar to this guitar. Let me show you.
Did it sell?
It sold.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome! Somebody just sent me a message about that.
It's sold.
Here's something like his.
Look
this
at
is
that.
One of his original Jason
great.
Becker.
Wow.
So he only made 3 of them, and here's the one. So there's one also one of his guitars by Kiesel, our friend, our buddy Steve Correa.
Yeah,
he's
a
tremendous dude.
Yeah,
he got autographs from all the baddest superheroes of guitars. Van Halen, Yngwie, Vai, all these guys, and the money's going to special needs trust for Jason to help Jason keep him, writing more jams, and so that just happened, and we're super produced because we thought we were going to come here to promote the sale of the guitar, and it's sold already. So we're just going to tell you the story.
Yeah,
we'll just talk about it and say
I still have to write him back. I got a text earlier today, I think, and I need to write him back, just letting him know I got the message, and sure, I'll mention the guitar. But if it's sold,
it's sold already. Yeah,
amazing.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude,
yesterday,
it's pretty amazing.
Right?
I hit up yesterday. Like, took 2 days. It was like $25,000 for this guitar. It's a crazy guitar. It's a superhero guitar. So it's really cool.
I mean, that'll be in a museum one day.
We want to see it.
Yeah, dude.
You want to see it?
Let's get
we have it.
Up in here and...
We have it. Are you guys ready?
Who has it?
It's here. It's right here. Here it is. Hey.
All right.
Oh, they have it.
We have it. Steve's holding it.
There it
Whoa.
is.
Yay.
Oh, hey,
Look at that.
bring it up. Bring it closer.
That's the part right there I like. That's my favorite part right there.
Eddie.
Look at that.
So,
And on the next stock, we have Mr. Joe Satriani. Let me get
How
that
you
in.
guys doing? Joe Satriani.
wow.
Yeah.
And then there's the. I'm gonna turn it on its side just because everybody kind of signed it.
Louis John Roth.
Yep.
Steve Vai. Who else? Who do you see? Joe Bonamassa.
Paul Gilbert.
Paul Gilbert.
Paul Gilbert is right here.
All the badasses. I can't read it very well because it's all kind of.
Marty's right there.
Yeah.
That's John Petrucci.
Killer. Tremendous.
Richard Coxon
Uli John Roth.
on the
Yeah,
horn.
man.
And then we're
Thank
gonna
you.
push it this way, just a
Can
little
we
bit.
hear them? You can't hear them well, huh?
This is Jason's thumb.
Oh, yeah. That's Jason's autograph.
Right there. You go ahead and take
So,
it.
woo, all right. We
And
got to
then
thank Albert Kiesel. He had his idea to do this, and Steve went all over the country to meet everybody and got everybody's autographs. You know, Eddie, and it's pretty crazy. That beautiful story. You know, to be able to.
That's amazing.
Should have made a documentary about it, like walking around with the guitar, getting autographs. He went like all over the place to do this. So
I can't believe how
thank you, brother.
I believe it, but how fast it went.
20
Yeah, no shit. 2 days.
just over 36
amazing.
hours. Yeah,
Yeah.
just over
Pretty
36
amazing.
hours.
You
I-
can't hear her though. Her microphone's off.
No, I'm not muted.
Sorry.
You can't hear them?
Can you hear
I
me?
can't hear them.
I
No.
You guys
I
can hear
hear
me?
everybody.
I hear you.
I actually had,
Um,
I spoke with the
It's
seller.
okay. I could just
Can read
wave
lips?
at me. I'll wave.
Actually, Colleen, if you guys jump out and jump right back in, he should be able to hear you.
You want me to
Alex, look,
a
you
second?
got me one of these
Yeah,
guitars, dude.
click, leave studio, and then jump right back.
Oh, nice. What is that, Dave?
It's a Japanese
wrong one.
some kind of Matsumoku
There you are.
factory.
That's beauty. Yeah.
It's a ego. I'm trying to be like you, dude.
Yeah, totally.
I'm gonna learn some
I
jazz.
knew you'd get F holes one day.
Ah!
You
Make fun
F-hole.
of me.
You guys want to see a Subway guitar? You guys were talking about Subway.
Yeah.
And everybody watching should know when we say Subway, we're talking about a guitar store. We're talking about Subway guitars. We're not talking about Subway and sandwiches
Sandwiches.
and
Yeah.
Man, I love me
Jared
some
who's in
sandwiches.
jail.
I love me some sandwiches. Come on. Oh wow, look at that.
Yeah, that's a
That's a Subway
Classic.
guitar, baby.
Man, that's something you
Bro.
might slide on.
Super.
What?
Is that an actual Supra though?
Yeah, dude.
But it's from
you
Subway, so you
show
wouldn't
that.
know.
I'm gonna see
Actually,
if I can find mine real quick.
because that looks like a Harmony body to me. I like that.
So, what was I going to say about Subway? Something about Subway.
It was
Half
awesome.
hour foot long.
Yeah.
I've been going there a
Turkey
lot.
Club.
lately.
Turkey Club, maybe. Man,
Can everybody
that's
hear
cool.
each other now?
Can we hear?
Oh yeah.
Colleen, are you there?
I feel like I'm in
I
a.
can hear you now.
Can you hear me now? Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
I actually have the gentleman who the gentleman who purchased the guitar. I've got him over on my other screen over here. I got to tell you guys, this story is absolutely amazing. He's also a disabled person. He lost both of his legs in a work accident 6 years ago, and he's not a guitar player, but he has such an appreciation and love for Jason because of the story behind it. You know, beyond like all of us in this room right now. Everybody watching, we're all musicians. We all love the talent. We love the Jason story and what he's given to the world as far as his prodigy, but his family and Dave, you, oh my gosh, you know, the way that you have taken care of him and brought the family together to bring inspiration and hope. You know, I mean, when I'm feeling bad about something, I think about Jason's story and
Right.
it makes me realize that, you know, what I have in my life is nothing compared to what other people might be dealing with. And it makes me want to give back. So when Stephen asked me if there was a way that I might be able to help out, I was like, are you kidding? My shirt says this girl loves Jason Becker. You know, he's a huge inspiration. And Rob is an amazing, he's an angel. He's an absolute angel. And
Much love to Rob. Everybody,
Thank
props,
you.
Rob.
We love you.
We love you, Rob.
He dropped the big house and big guitars.
And he kept saying over and over again, you know, I just want to help. I'm so glad that I can help. And the world needs that right now, man. I think we should all take Gary's heart from the Triumphant Hearts album. That needs to be like everybody's Facebook profile image. Share the
See
love.
that painting? See that painting behind me? That's a Gary painting right there, by the way. That's a Gary Becker.
Yeah. Jason
wow.
Becker's
Really
Jason
nice.
Becker's dad painted that.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But Alex has an incredible. I've known this guitar forever. You still have that thing. The Subway Power.
Did you see? You know what guitar this is?
I know exactly what guitar it is.
I see.
Dude,
I remember those.
I used to help you carry those things. Like, you know, I helped move that shit with you.
It's a Longhorn,
that's
man.
right. Yeah, for a while. Yeah, when I moved to New York, I didn't take all these with me.
Here we go, Stanley Jordan.
No, I'm just tuning it. So yeah, check it out. This is a Subway special.
Holy.
Wow.
Almost an F-bomb.
I remember. What's his name?
Did you put this together? Do you think?
That's why it's out of tune. That's why it's out of tune.
Yeah. Yeah. That might have been a Ron Sargent. Remember Ron? That might have been a Ron Sargent guitar. He was putting those guitars together for Tim Armstrong from Rancid.
Oh, that's right.
Rancid used to play those.
All their guitars.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were a total band too.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's cool. Pretty nice, right? That's what.
Is that a bolt-on, Alex?
Yes, sir.
Very cool.
You need to play that with Testament, dude. Test that out. Yeah! Metal, bitches.
Yeah, it's kind of functional.
It's bad. I love that guitar.
Yeah, just for messing around. Yeah, it's got a really cool. I don't know if you can tell, like the neck is this really cool wood color and.
Yeah, and also again, that's a real deal right there. That's an act. Those parts are actually from back in the day. That's not any kind of reissue anything. That was the cool thing about Subway back in the day. It was all the real stuff.
Sought after, right?
Yeah.
Hagstrom. I mean, there's people that are such big fans of Hagstrom. It's not really my world, you know. But I would play these guitars and just think, some of these are really cool. And I could see why, like the collectors of like the oddball guitars were totally after Hagstroms and Dan Electros.
Eddie collects those, right? He collects the surf guitars, from what I hear. Brian Kehoe told me he went to Eddie's. Kehoe, remember Brian Kehoe?
Oh, Brian,
Brian, yeah.
Just heard from him the other day, who's now at Jim Dunlop.
He's the best, but he told me they went to Van Eddie's studio, 5150, and dude was like, Eddie was like, all he wanted to show him was the surf guitars, all his old Subway guitars, kind of guitars.
The Tysco Del Rey's and stuff.
All the Tysco Del Rey's, you know, and Keo's like, where are all the 58s and the 50 now? He's like, they're over there somewhere, but whatever. It's all about these guitars. He was like more juiced about those Japanese guitars, and that's you know, people know what's up. People that know what's up, they know what's up.
I saw a really early photo of Van Halen, and I think it was his first guitar, and it totally looks like it belongs in Subway guitar. I said, it's one of those guitars with a ton of switches.
Is the one when he was a kid, right?
Yeah, you know the photo, and he's next to his mom.
Yep, yeah. I know that photo, and I know where that guitar is. So,
yeah, he doesn't have that exact guitar.
No, he doesn't. But I know who has it.
I know who has it too.
So, and that's so cool.
Have you been where that guitar is?
No, I haven't, but my friends have been there, and I've seen the pictures, and it's a great story.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times. It's
very
strange because total coincidence because a friend of mine is like a neighbor of that guy.
Okay. Yeah, I know the story. I know where he is, and I've seen the pictures, and it's amazing what's there.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. I have photos on my phone, and
yeah, I'm actually planning another guitar for Jason that I think we're gonna do better. You're one of the guys that won on it.
I'd be glad to, of course.
I'm putting the list together now, and I've already got some confirmations from some big people. And
awesome!
I think we can do better. I think we can raise a
bold statement, Steve.
I know, but I never thought I'd get Eddie Van Halen to sign my guitar either. But I pulled it off.
Yeah.
How did that happen? How did you get him to sign? How did that work out?
Well, I came to the end of the guitar, and I had all the signatures I was really going for. My buddy Rick asked me, like, where's the guitar at? What are you trying to do? Who's left? I'm like, there's only 3 guys. I want to finish with a whale. I'm like, it's either Clapton, Beck, or Edward. We had access to these people, but Edward he lives close to where we work. So he said, let me put in a call. And put the call in, and an hour or two later, we got a hit from the guy and said, hey, when I'm ready, I'll take care of it. And we just left the car in a secure and undisclosed location in Los Angeles and waited for Edward. And he was more than happy to do it.
Like everybody that signed this guitar was more than happy.
Yeah, I mean, we can't understate Edward Van Halen. I mean, what he's contributed to the technique, to live performance. I mean, he's the reason millions of people hold a guitar.
Yeah.
I mean, people talk about Edward a lot, but I think we should talk about, he's been there for Jason since the beginning. I mean, he's just an amazing person. The fact that he took the time to sign my guitar, give me a pic, snap a picture.
That's really cool.
That's huge. You know, and then having Donna Massa, Yngwie, Nita.
Yngwie. So how did Yngwie come about? How did that? You just
Yngwie.
Did you have like a donut or something?
If you talk crap about Yngwie, we're gonna have a problem.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna have a big effort problem. I love Yngwie. I have an Yngwie.
Oh no, you did.
So do I.
He's a god guitar.
No, you didn't. No, I love Yngwie, but you know, so was he cool? Was he?
He changed the whole path of the guitar because initially, I was up with an idea of having all the guitar players on Valley of Fire sign it. I'm like, that's a great
Albert from Kiesel.
Albert Kumis from Kiesel. I'm like, that's a great idea. Can you do that? I'm like, okay, sure, I got this. And then I had Steve Einstein it, but that was on the Generation X tour. And Yngwie signed it too, so I called Jason. I'm all, listen, Yngwie signed a guitar too, so that kind of changed the whole path. I'm all, is that cool? He's all, hell yeah. So,
yeah.
Then I said, let's
he's
the guitar players in the world. Yep.
Yeah, and he influenced everybody. Everybody was down with Yngwie. We love Yngwie. No, I take that back. I don't want to mean that I was clowning him. But yes, Yngwie is, I mean,
no, you were right.
You mentioned it, you know?
Alex,
like he was a fan. We're all fans. We love the guy.
Yeah, he's my guy.
And I like donuts.
When you think about Eddie's kind of the same way. You know, before Eddie came along, the guitar style across the board had kind of a similar thing. And then Eddie came along and bam, it changed guitar playing for the whole entire world. Yngwie was the same way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's amazing that you're doing this. Wow.
I was already playing guitar, but when I heard him, I became a lead guitar player. I became a soloist when I heard him.
Dude,
totally because of Eddie Van Halen. I didn't know what I was gonna do. I was gonna be like a, singer, guitar. I had no idea what kind of guitar player I wanted to be. I heard Eddie Van Halen. It was like, that's it.
I can't imagine what it was like to be a guitar player when Van Halen 1 came out. and you have to rethink your whole life because this guy just kicked everybody's ass.
Yeah, it was next level. Like, what is going on here?
Everything.
His consistency too. It wasn't just like he wasn't a one-hit wonder. He came out and kicked everybody's ass for decades. You know, there's not too many guys on the planet that can say that. So
yeah,
you can feel the mojo from this guitar in this room right now. You can feel it when it's amazing. It's amazing.
And we have the signature, we have the photo. Edward gave us the pick.
Yep.
I have a bag of picks from almost all the artists, so that's a lot of incredible DNA.
Rob, if you guys can allow me for just a second, I know that Rob is watching. Rob is the gentleman who has procured this amazing beast of a guitar.
Hey, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
I forwarded some of your information to Jason. Everybody can do that. And their hearts, as well as ours, I want you to know, Robert, that our hearts are full. You have literally, you've reaffirmed my faith in humanity. I think that there's more people than just me that are feeling this way right now, dude. And you kick a whole lot of tush. Let me put it that way. But they wanted you to know how much they appreciate you as well. So love is going on all around here. The last thing that Pat said was that their hearts are full as well. So I want you to go to bed again tonight thinking about that. Okay, man, we'll get the pics matted and get everything framed up and get it over to you. This is so much for Jason. And I mean, to me, that's kind of the coolest thing about this is, you know, Steve and I are both musicians, like not on Jason's caliber by any stretch, but
nobody.
He's, yeah, I mean, right. But to be able to give something back to him as somebody who has been inspired by him and his family for so long is, you can't describe it. To me, this is priceless. And I know I speak for Steve here saying that we're honored to be just to be involved, just to be able to help him out, man. It's pretty freaking cool.
I think the funniest thing is Jason would always say, man, thanks for the hard work. I'm like, dude, I got to hang out with Uli on a bus and have a conversation about guitar. I mean, that's like the best. It's like the Make-A-Wish Foundation. You know, I got to hang out with Greg Howe, a beer and eat pokey, and him telling me stories about Jason as a kid.
Oh, you guys, I got to tell you, and I got to backtrack on this real quick. Steve and I both saw Cacophony at the same time at Gazzari's in Hollywood back in 1989, and we didn't know each other at the time. So then you fast forward a few years, he's like the best man in our wedding and my husband's wedding, or our wedding. And next thing you know, we're like doing something like this for this guy that we saw play live. He set his guitar down like Stanley Jordan and played Beane E minor. And I'm like sitting there just, bam, head exploded. It was unbelievable. And total sweetheart of a guy. Is that the pick?
Mm-hmm.
Is it, to put it right there, like.
He gave me that pick at Gazzari's in the backstage door when I was a kid.
That's the pick from the Gazzari show right there. Robert,
wow.
Be going with the guitar.
Oh, man.
Played on stage. Baby.
This pick will go when I die. This pick goes to the box. So I'm one of the fortunate people who got to see bass play as a kid, and then became friends with him. And I mean, the fact that it affected his life in this way it's a gift, man. I mean,
it is.
I just want to do more, and I can. The next guitar, I'm gonna kick this one's ass. You know?
Nice.
Yeah, and there's so many people that helped out. Mike Varney was huge. I mean, he saved my ass more than once. My buddy Squiggy from Loudwire, my buddy Mike from the Music Experience. He worked for John 5, and Lauren from Reverb. I mean, she answered every dumb question I had and just took care of everything. I'm just stoked to help my friend.
Dude, he's got such a way of bringing like the best out in people, and we need more of that in this world right now. We really do. So that's Jason's legacy to me. Not just music, he just brings out the best in people, and that's hard to find. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Oh man, I'm all good. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, hold on. Oh man, sorry.
Next one.
My dog.
Oh, you got the puppy.
Oh, Lemmy.
Hey, what's up?
I still have to meet Lemmy. I've never met Lemmy.
Oh, that dog's so rad.
Alex, you met Lemmy. Alex met Lemmy.
Yeah, I did. Super cool.
But Alex, I got you for the next one, right? We're good.
Please, where is it? I'll sign it.
Oh,
I'll
it's
sign
coming.
it now.
I have a master plan, and you're a big part of it. So
We put a call
Okay,
out.
I'm in.
well,
Awesome.
no, I don't want to. I just want to. I have my list. I'm a little scared, but I think I can pull it off. Okay. So
I think his phone died.
His phone died, I think.
I think his phone died.
Oh no!
Oh, you did all the work, man. I was.
And I sat on tour buses and drank wine, so, and flew a lot. And, I mean, that guitar has been in the hands of some of the most amazing guitar players ever. And also, people, when I would bring it along, would see it, and everyone knows the guitar. I mean, initially, Squiggy brought me out to the Burn and Beyond Festival just to demonstrate, just to show Jason's guitars, and the response was incredible. They put me in the Deane booth. Deane totally took care of me, but just when people saw the guitar, they knew what it was. And I mean, I heard little kids busting sweep arpeggios on it. I'm like, what the hell's? I'm in Kentucky. What the hell's going on? But that's what kind of, planted the seed of we need to do more. Jason's outreach is huge. I met people from Peru. I met people from Spain who would see that guitar and just lost their minds. I mean, Jason's outreach is, I had no idea until I started this project almost 2 years ago. And so, I mean, I cannot wait to do the next one. And I'm gonna kick this one's ass. I'm gonna put money in my friend's pocket.
I heard a story about, I don't know who's got it, but someone has it. I'm not gonna say who, but someone's got a copy of the 5150 album with Dave Lee Roth singing. You guys know about that? Heard somebody's got it. That's just something I heard about. I'm not gonna.
My lips are sealed.
I can't say it.
There's
like, did you guys know about that? Have you guys ever heard any footage or heard
No.
Dave singing on those? Supposedly, they played what's it called? It was Elton John lyrics. He would just mumble Elton John lyrics over 5150 riffs and on those records.
Wow.
But someone's
Well, I mean,
got
I can understand that because those songs were written by '84. Those songs were all written.
Yeah.
The music, anyway.
I'm not going to say who told me that or who has it, but I don't know. I'm not saying who. I can't say. Because, I remember Jason used to play with Dave and stuff. You heard, But anyways, I would love to. I haven't heard it yet, though, and I'm looking for them. Hopefully I will find them. But, yeah, there's some tapes out there that no one's heard. I've heard.
What's his name? Captain Kirk, William Shatner. Has anybody heard the Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds?
Oh yeah.
Is that recent or is that when he was doing that stuff? Because he was singing over that music for a while.
It's really interesting.
Really weird. It just moved again. I'm sorry.
Hey, there's Alex.
There he is.
Alex,
I'm back.
there you are.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I got drifted off into deep space. Sometime, I don't know.
And I know it's getting late where you are, so just let you know.
What's that?
Oh, I know it's been a couple hours.
Yeah,
So.
I am slammed the amount of nuts with these internet projects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're working on another one
I
together, aren't we?
Dude, it's
I have to
killer.
get
The Brian May
back to
jam is
work.
killer.
What?
That was really fun.
That's fucking crazy, dude. I saw that. I was like, what the fuck?
You're like, what's going on?
I was like, I didn't even know you were in the video. I just happened to watch it, and I was like, this motherfucker.
Yeah,
What?
a lot of people
I never get up F
going, and then like, what?
It's amazing. It's
So,
amazing. Yeah, let's hear some more of that. That's amazing stuff, man. The Rush covers, Brian May, all that stuff is killer, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
dear.
so I'm not going to say what's coming up.
Excellent.
Jade.
How's the West Montgomery covers? I love that guy. So
Anyway, my connection is going crazy all of a sudden. So I think that's a sign I need to get back to work on this stuff.
Yeah. All right, Alex.
Alex,
Thanks for having me, guys.
I got to email you about something, so I will email you in a bit if that's cool.
I'm not. Okay.
Can't hear shit.
Okay.
Send me the email, and I will sign the guitar whenever it shows up.
thank you very much, Al. And anytime you want to get into a show, call me. We'll take care of you.
Muchas gracias.
No problem.
Muchas gracias.
Good to see you, Lopez.
All right.
You
Good to
too.
meet you, Dave.
Yeah,
All right,
good to
Johnny.
meet you. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Alex.
guys.
Alex, let's
All right,
since
enjoy
we're in
it.
the same area, we should get together at some point.
This is, yeah, where are you again? Long Island.
Long Island, Glen Cove. I'm about 35 minutes from you.
Well, right now it's probably about 5 minutes.
I go. Anyway,
Oh, all right. See you, Alex.
See ya.
awesome.
Bye,
Sounds good.
man.
All right, enjoy the rest of the night, you guys.
Thank
you.
you. Good to see you, man. Alex Skolnick.
Man, good stuff.
It's it's funny. It just feels like we're just hanging out at Subway Guitars with Alex, Dave, and Johnny. Like this is what would happen in the '90s. We just sit there and talk, blah blah blah. It's like, oh yeah, we're talking. Like it's a cool thing you guys are doing.
Dude,
Much
I
props.
have
Much
it
love
right
for
now
that.
because
Thank you, man.
I love that guitar.
This one. Oh, you want to see another one? So one more guitar. So when Jason was playing Carvin, they gave him 3 Carvins. Bluey, the purple guitar, and this green Carvin.
Oh,
There's only
dude.
he gave it to me. Yeah. So that's like only 3 of them. That's like, and same with the third. I got the third numbers guitar, they made 3 of them, and the third one is the one I have here. But this is one of his ones. He didn't like this one that much. That's why he gave it to me. He's like, the ones I'll take the ones you don't like, But you could tell he played it. You could see his fingers on it,
Wow.
I've known Jason since I was 15 years old. I used to go up, like, I'm in Richmond, California. Up on the hill is Jason's house. I'm like 5 minutes away from his house. So I used to take lessons from him and kick it with him. I used to hear about Jason. When I was 15, I would hear about Jason being faster than Yngwie. There's a guy in Richmond that could play 3 times faster than Yngwie. That was like a legend of Jason. Before I even knew him, before Cacophony, in the neighborhood, there was a shredder guitarist. Jason was that dude. And then I remember hearing KUSF in San Francisco. They had this
the college station.
It's all thrash metal, Metallica, all that stuff they started that scene on that station. And I heard Cacophony on KUSF, and I said, what the fuck is, like, I couldn't believe, this is crazy. Because I loved Yngwie. I loved all that scene, and I loved Alex. I was a fan of Alex at the time, too. Legacy was out. He was one of the first dudes to do a sweep arpeggio in a thrash metal album. He was the first guy. I don't remember anyone else do that at the time, but we heard it in the demo. Anyways, so, dude, I went auditioned for his brother's band, and I went in the house and I met him, and I put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, oh, that's the dude from Richmond that was the baddest dude, and he's in Cacophony with Marty. Like, it all made sense. And he came in, he was so chill, and I was just warming up, and he gave me hey, that sounds really good. You want to take lessons, motherfucker? No, he didn't say that, but he you need to take some lessons, bro. I'll hook you up.
I fixed you.
So, and then I would just flip out, dude. I'd go hang out as a 15-year-old kid, hearing this motherfucker play better than everyone I was looking up to, like Van Halen and Ace Frehley and whatever the fuck, or Yngwie. And then this kid that's only a couple years older than me is killing everybody. Like, he was like fucking crazy. Like, he do shit like, remember him talking about how he put a cassette, turn it upside down on a 4-track, and learn how to solo forwards, backwards, like backwards, forwards, or whatever. And he was like a fucking 17-year-old kid, 18 years old, So it's like to be thinking of crazy shit like that. And he's still like that. He's still always creative and always pushing himself. A lot like Alex. Alex is the same way. Always trying to be better, like learning and bringing new shit. And, that's why they're who they are, And, yeah, dude, it's pretty amazing. Just my connection with Jason goes for a long, like, that's my family, It's like, and I'm a fanboy, number one, even though he's my brother, and I'm a fan. Like, I remember being a kid going, fuck, I can only imagine growing up with like Eddie Van Halen, like if you're his best friend or his homie from this, like you got this, like, holy shit, like killing it as a kid. You imagine being friends. And that's like what it's like for me, you know, at the time. And I would have, you know, Jason would have probably saved the guitar at the time, because in the 90s, all that grunge was going on, and he was, you know, he could have, you know, probably done so much cool stuff with that in that time, you know, if it wasn't for, you know, his ALS, you know. But he's still fucking killing it. He's always creative, always writing, and just you know, living life, man, you know. So props to him. And you know, that's my story, how I know him and why I love him so much, because I, you know, would go in and watch this guy do this stuff in person. And you know, that's why you know, Steven and Colleen feel, because they got to see that when you know, you got to feel the vibration coming from him. It's not the same as listening to a CD or you know, a record. Being in the room, hearing that energy go through you and seeing it happen, that's what it's about, you know. And that's why Van Halen is so important. All these guys that they keep playing, you get to go pay respect to people that are doing that, bringing their energy to you, you know. Because I saw Paul Stanley, man, he was just wrecked. But fuck, it's Paul Stanley. You got to give him a break. It's like fucking Paul Stanley. But I saw Ace Frehley, wasn't very good. But hey, it's Ace Frehley. You know, you got to respect being that energy. You got to feel that energy. You still feel like a fanboy. You know, you still have that. It doesn't matter. Those guys are still here and they're playing for us. You got to respect that. You know, and you know, that's why it's important that we always, you know, support our heroes. You know,
well,
badasses.
I agree 100%. I think Eddie Van Halen is God, and this guitar is the fucking 10 Commandments. You know,
I have one on my wall too.
What is that, a Hondo?
No, I built this one.
Just kidding.
Every time I look at it,
that's amazing. You built that motherfucker?
Yeah.
Let me see. Could you put it back in that looks just like Johnny's guitar.
Yeah.
No,
remember the one I have? I took to Jason's house.
Kramer.
So you just straight up is it exactly like that?
Yeah, it's exactly like the guitar is today. Like it's hanging on Eddie's wall today.
Damn.
Oh my God.
Where's the quarter?
It's not on this guitar. It's on a different guitar.
Do you have a Shark guitar?
I had one that I didn't build. Another guy built. Another friend of ours has it now.
That was awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's
thanks.
amazing.
But even all the fretware, all the dirt on here, the way it is, it was masked off to be exactly the way it is on Eddie's guitar.
How do you do that? Like, do you get a picture?
Yeah, well, I have a lot of high-res pictures of this guitar, of Eddie's guitar, and what we did was we tape off the whole fretboard, and then you with a pencil kind of draw where the actual relic marks are, then cut it out, and then you I'm giving away the secrets now. You put clear on it, and then you shave off the clear wherever where the tape is, and then you dirty it up.
Where's a pen and paper? I got to write this down.
That's amazing.
But yeah, everything is exact. Even though there's a little hole. I don't know if you can see it. You can see the little hole back here.
Yeah.
Eddie had a tone knob back here on this guitar for a little while that no one knew about.
Tone knob?
That no one knew about. So yeah, there's
his little secrets. He says, right? Didn't he play behind his back, or he hid? He doesn't want people to know his licks.
Yeah,
he's so fresh. He's so badass, dude.
Hey, so yeah, this is just one of my fanboy moments. It's kind of.
I'm gonna split because I got to put my little girl to bed. It's 10:15, and it was great, Dave, Colleen, and Steven. It was great meeting you guys.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate the time.
It's an awesome thing you did, by the way.
Yeah, amazing.
And it was great having Alex on here. And yeah, I'm gonna split and leave you guys to hang out, and see everybody maybe tomorrow night, Johnny. A little Saturday Night Live action.
Hey, let's do it for my 50th birthday.
Ooh,
Sunday's my 50th, so maybe if you have enough room for me on tomorrow night, maybe I'll come on.
Should we all sing happy birthday to you before we go?
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea.
All right.
Kudos to Jay.
Yeah, you sing.
Right.
I'm gonna wake him up at 4 a.m. today.
Right. Let's do it. Let's sing it. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday
to you.
Happy
birthday to
you.
Birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday,
Birthday.
birthday,
Super Kramer guy.
happy birthday
Happy birthday.
to you.
Yay.
Johnny, those effects are amazing, dude.
What's up?
Thank you, man. You got, dude, Dave. If you're gonna be doing these things, you gotta grab one of these at Target, man.
It's not
I'm
even
gonna grab one of those.
It's got a handheld. Oh my god, I love that. I love that.
Yeah, it's Johnny Beane powers.
Awesome.
All right, guys, I'm gonna go too. I gotta go clean my fucking garage. God damn it.
Man, you cursed, man.
I gotta go start working on Jason.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Oh,
Brooklyn,
Hey, if you see the movie, you see me doing the same thing in that Not Dead Yet movie.
Mhm.
I cursed during the whole movie.
yeah.
And my brother's like, I'm embarrassed when I watch you cursing, and I'm like, dude, I curse. I'm sorry. So
It doesn't
Everybody.
no problem. Everyone curses.
yeah, I'm a potty mouth.
Carpenter's daughter, man. I gotta keep myself in check.
That's this too. It's all good.
If I could
Hey,
just
let me tell you this. I'll tell you this though.
just it.
Talking all that shit. When I went to Jason Becker's house the first time, he's all, "Fuck, Dad. What the fuck, Dad? That's fucking bullshit, Dad." Gary, like he would say, "Fuck, Gary," and I'm like, "Oh, he's cussing." I wouldn't cuss in front of my dad. You know what I mean? My mom.
I've never
But
heard
Jason.
you're making it up.
Oh, dude, he would be like, "Fuck, that's fucked up," and I was like, "These guys are." The Beckers are awesome.
Gary,
dude.
dude, get your seat.
So
Gary,
if
like,
Jason Becker can cuss, I can cuss too. All right.
Gary
I
was
got
saying,
it from
Yeah.
Jason.
Dave was like, Dave was telling, because I'm like, we're sitting here looking at the whole thing from the perspective of like, wow, just everybody coming together, you know, being really cool. And he's like, you're not here for when Jason goes out and says like F you. And I'm going, I can't even see that right now. But at the same time, I could, it's so cool though. You know, they're human. Everybody's
I
human.
can't watch Raider games with Jason because he talks hella shit to me. He
Dude,
just, and then when he talks shit, it's like you're waiting for him like some deep shit. And he's all, "You are a bitch." Like, oh, I lose my bitch. Like when the Raiders lose.
So,
Oh, dude.
We gotta get him
He's from
again.
Richmond. We're from Richmond, right? Richmond is kind of like the hood a
Yeah,
little bit, you know? So we grew up around hood shit. So that's why we talk like this. And so, you know, he talks a lot of shit too. So it's just part of, you know, what I do, who I am. I'm sorry. You know.
Don't apologize.
I didn't know the Pope was hanging out.
Man, no, man. No apologizing. That's a sign of weakness, bro.
just be you. That's the best version, buddy. That's all you can do.
You kind of kick ass, man. So
All right.
Lopez, look, Brian Spalding's here. Look at
Hey! Yeah, see? B-Town's down with Dave.
Florin, filth. Filth, Florin, filth. Florin.
Hey, I just wanted to take 1 second to thank all the artists who helped me out with it. I mean, it took about 1.5 years to get this thing done because of all their schedules and just all the stuff that came up along the way. But every single artist took the time and I have the conversations, and you could really hear how much they love Jason. So, I mean, to John Five, to Edward Van Halen, Yngwie, Steve Vai, Joe Bonamassa, Uli, Richie Kotzen, Nita.
So Richie hit me. I hit up Richie yesterday. Or the
Dude,
day before when it came out.
Richie was one of the funniest times.
The next day, I'm all done. Put it up. Then he hits me up this morning. That shit sold. It sold. He was all, I saw it. Like, he's so excited. Like, he's. I don't know if you guys know how close Richie is with Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Richie Kotzen and Jason, they grew up like Jason was like kind of like produced his record, and they're very close. They have they're little kids, man. You got to admit, these guys were 18 years old, 17, 18. I don't know about you. I was high as fuck at 17, 18 years old. I just smoked hella weed, and you know, I wasn't doing great shit, you know, because that's what you do at 18 years old. These guys were doing crazy shit on guitars, and Richie Kotzen became, you know, who he is, and so it's like you forget that. Like when you listen to like Led Zeppelin 1 and those 19-year-olds and the 21-year-old, whatever, Van Halen, those, think about these are little kids, man. And so, you know, he has that little they're kids together. They have their little inside jokes when they're around together. And it's really cool seeing those two guys and how much he loves Jason. Like he fucking loves him, and I'll do anything for Jason. Like he did all the Not Dead Yet. He did all of them.
Mm-hmm.
He without a head. Hey, can you come out? Yes. Yes. That dude is the real deal, man. And that's a badass guy, dude. That dude, you know, he's such a badass. I love that dude. So
we actually
props to Richie and everybody, all those guys for sure.
Yeah.
But Richie's the one that texted me right back. You know, was like,
Richie had a couple of near misses where I had an appointment with someone else, and Richie has something else going on, and then I had to fly out to Miami for something, and he was doing the Monsters Rock tour of the cruise, and it ended up he was in the same hotel that I was, and we were going to meet up, and we were trying to coordinate, and I was downstairs at the bar, and I turned around and I saw Richie and his band just sitting there having a cocktail, and like, there he is. I'm like, Richie. He's like, man, you brought this guitar everywhere. It's like, sat, you know, bottom of a martini, hung out. I mean, Richie's love for Jason is incredible. Yeah.
Oh, they got history. They got a lot of history.
I got to hang out with Richie Costa. That's like the Make-A-Wish Foundation for me. So, you know,
I love Richie too. He's one of my favorite, not only just guitar players but songwriters.
If he just sang,
songwriters,
probably one of my favorite musicians. His voice is literally incredible.
His voice is a musician enough.
Yeah,
but then you hear him play guitar and it's whatever. It's all over.
It's just
like Shredder, Terrence Trent D'Arby. Remember Terrence Trent D'Arby?
Yeah.
Remember that guy?
Yeah.
Listen to that guy. Listen to Richie. Richie loves that dude. Like I asked him what kind of, you know, I asked him once about his influence. He's all soul, but I guess Terrence Trent D'Arby is really one of them. And when you hear, it's just pretty kill, you know, to imagine Terrence Trent D'Arby with a guitar ripping, you know, so,
ripping guitar with 60s soul.
Yeah. I mean,
dude,
like you know, he sounds like he should have been in the Temptations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't teach that. That's the thing that about it. You can spend months and years working on how to do scales and getting your speed up and doing technical ability, but soul,
yeah,
you're born with that or you're not. It's
agreed.
If he just sang, he would still be one of the most incredible musicians on the planet.
Yeah,
and that's my opinion, but
no, that's a fact.
That's
the fact.
I'll behind it all day. I mean, he's one of my favorite musicians in the world, and he's one of the nicest people. I've met him a few times, and he's always been so kind and so courteous. And when he talks about Jason, I mean, you can feel it. It's pretty cool.
Dude, you were telling me
I am so fortunate.
Like, one of the things that happened, I was cataloging all of the interactions. So when Steve was out there doing the footwork, he was like texting me and sending me the pictures. So I'm holding on to everything and making sure that it's, you know, safe. And then every single time that you talk to somebody, they were like, wow, thank you. They were actually thanking Steve for letting them sign this guitar, you know, and that tells you Jason's legacy right there, man. He's so loved. He's so loved.
Dude, John 5, when I got to get his signature the same night I got Nita Strauss, I mean, you could feel it when you talk to John how much you love Jason.
Did you see that clip of him holding the actual Jason's Numbers guitar?
I mean, he's one of my favorite players on the planet, but he's one of the nicest people. But when he held a guitar and he signed these, you could feel it just coming off of the guy. He's an amazing person.
Nita loves
there's
Nita too.
Oh God, yeah. And she loves
the guy.
Yeah,
I love her.
And she breaks that. Oh, she's good for a girl. No, she's good because she kicks ass.
She's she's
badass.
That
girl.
She's just not very pretty though. That's the one thing. She's not hot.
She's kind of the girl next door. She's kind of the girl next door kind of thing.
She smells like sunshine and rainbows. And she could bust anybody's ass on guitar. The girl's bad, and she's so sweet.
She loves Jason too.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's seen the video where she goes to the house and
I got tricked into meeting my favorite. Yeah.
And who didn't get choked up?
Dude, I cried probably, no joke, Dave. I'm going to be, next time I get a chance to talk with, you know, the family, I'm going to let them know this. I cried probably 4 times, and I don't cry. I'm not like a crier. It was just listening to hearing Rob talk about how much this meant to him, and then knowing why, you know, it was unbelievable. And then for me on a personal level, I know Steve, you can attest to this too. it's just really freaking cool. You know, I love Jason as a guy, as a musician, and as a human being. He is such a good source of inspiration in their family and everything. And to see how many people were ecstatic to be able to try to just help him out, because he deserves it. He deserves it. And I'm thankful, number one, he's still around. You know, I mean, think about that. He's 30 years. He was diagnosed when he was 19, right? And they gave him like what, 2 to 3 years, and
something like that.
30 years later, he's still out there kicking ass and writing music that most of us would never be able to conceive of. With his eyes. I mean, it's wow.
I think
Guthrie. He's tremendous.
Guthrie one time said, Jason might have this disease, but he will determine the terms of how he lives with it.
Amen. Yeah.
I mean, he said, ALS, F you. I got this. I'm going to keep writing music. I'm going to keep living my life. And I mean,
Amen.
When I heard Guthrie say that, I'm like, he just nailed it. You know, and,
Guthrie's badass.
You know, I'm friends with
I got
in the world.
I got to take off, you guys. But before I go, could David please play Eruption on that guitar before I go?
I cannot play Eruption, actually.
No, dude. You can't feel the guitar and not play Eruption, bro.
You know what? That's why I don't gig with this guitar. But I'll tell you, I'll do something. Give me 1 second. Hopefully.
I'm a little excited.
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Hang on.
I'm going to mute.
Oh, shit.
You know, I would do more, but I have a tenant that lives upstairs, and she is not a very nice person.
Make her mad, man. Make her mad. Turn it up.
You know, and Johnny, he's gonna get a ding if I play anything that's copyrighted.
I know that 20-second rule.
Yeah.
Damn.
So,
all right, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Johnny, for having me.
Dave, thank you though.
It was amazing. So much fun. I'd love to be on again. Anytime you guys want me to come talk shit, I'm around.
Yeah. Give me a call, man.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Bye, guys. Bye.
See you, Dave. Oh, there we go. There it is. All right.
And thank you so much for the platform to talk about the guitar and bring awareness to my friend Jason. I can't thank you enough.
Oh, you're welcome, man. Yeah, and I know the plan was to try to sell the guitar, and it sold.
Dude,
not even 2 days. Not even 2 days.
It really caught me off guard. It was like you put so much work into something, and it's like, does it make sense? What's going to happen? And when Lauren at Reverb, Lauren Tolliver, she's the one who really said, "We'll do whatever you want." It's like, you have a question, we'll take care of it. You have a problem, we'll take care of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I cannot put into words how much Lauren did for me from Reverb. I mean, she took the ball, and Evan too. They took the ball and said, whatever you want to do, we'll help you out. And
awesome.
In less than 2 days, we got $26,000 for Jason Becker.
Dude,
it's amazing.
If you can tell me something better, I'll do it right now. Almost nothing left for him. Sorry. So,
we'll make sure that Jason sees this. We'll make sure definitely that Jason sees this.
And speaking of that, I'm going to make sure, like in the next, I'm helping him out with a couple of things on his website right now. So one of the things that's not on there is the way
cool.
We saw so many responses with people saying like, why didn't you do a raffle? You know, so many people would have been able to put in, you know, $100 or $50 or what have you. And it made sense. That totally makes sense. So maybe we can do that for our next go around and give everybody an opportunity to get their hand in. Logistically, it's not easy to do, but in the meantime, I want to set something up on jasonbecker.com. Everybody write that down, where you can just, if you want to help them out, go donate, go buy Not Dead Yet, you know, go buy Triumphant Hearts and listen to the album and spread the word, share it out there and get the word out for them. Because the world needs Jason, and we need and he needs us.
And if
so there you go.
And if you have recommendations for who you think I should have on next guitar, let us know. I have my list, and my list is kind of scaring the hell out of me, but I feel really good about it. I can do this.
Cool. Well, yeah. Next guitar, next time, make sure you come here and you guys can promote it and talk about it and everything.
And if you guys need anything from me, if I can help you out with anything, Dave,
I'll get you some guys to sign the next guitar. I got some celebrities that would be happy to do it.
Fantastic. And then when my friends come to town, we'll take care of you and whatever you need. Just say, I can't thank you enough.
It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. I mean, especially Johnny. If it's not for Johnny, man, this this whole forum without Johnny is nothing.
Well, it's not here, so thank you.
Well, I think Johnny's one of the guys that started this like 5 years ago. He's a pioneer. This is everyone that does it now can thank Johnny Beane because he's been doing it for 5 or 6 years, or maybe even longer.
Wow.
Doing this type of show.
Thank you. I'll follow you if you're cool with it. I'll send you a Facebook request because I would love to be able to keep learning from what you're doing. That's amazing.
Definitely.
I don't do social media. I'm just a guy with a guitar who has friends.
Yeah. Well, Steven, stick around after this, and I'll give you my number. But Colleen, you want to friend me as well? You're more than welcome to.
By all means, man.
Johnny, you too. Is there anything
I
can help you with?
Okay. Well, yes. Awesome. Let me wrap this up. We're all going to jump out, and then we can say goodbye.
You got it. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Have a wonderful. Stay safe, man. With everything going on, stay safe.
Stay safe.
You too.
Stay safe. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. This has been a most excellent show, as Jay Hannon would say. This has been awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks to Alex Skolnick. And see, Dave, I really do know Alex. You guys didn't believe me.
All right, from now on, Johnny, you don't say much, but what you do say, I promise I don't believe you from now on.
I don't drop names.
Yeah, I know.
I don't do that. But yeah.
Yeah, it was amazing. Great show. Great guests. Every one of them. Dave Lopez. Come on, all of them.
Yeah, and it's only going to get better, you guys. It's going to get a lot better. So make sure you keep it tuned here. And let me just say really quickly, thank you to False Flag for becoming a member. Because Dave, you haven't seen this. We have channel members.
I have. Yeah. In fact, I asked you during Tuesday night show. You didn't read my questions in the chat. I asked you, do I need to become a member, or because I'm a cast member, is that good enough? What do you want me to do?
Well, the channel member thing, that's anybody that if you enjoy this, like the super fans, if you really, really, really dig this stuff, you have options where you can dig it even more. That's what it is. That's what it is. There's a join button down below. If you see that, you can click on that, and that kind of explains some of the perks and stuff. But it's totally optional. Nothing on the channel is going to change. But if you want to become a channel member, you get even more stuff. You get more videos, you get emojis in the chat. You get all different. Like if you see in the chat, some of their names are green. They have a little guitar next to them. Those are members of the channel. So anyway, we gotta thank some people here. Executive producers tonight was Charles Green, Music Therapy Laz, Robbie Johnston, and Mike Neese. And thank you to all our channel members: Charles Green, Fruitcake Tony, Charlie S., Mike Neese, Lenny Lou, Bozique, Robbie Johnston, Mickey Settlemeyer. There's more. Halface, James Gum, Mr. BHB Jr., that's Bruce, Frag 5150, Thomas Santiago, Fender Guru, Music Therapy Laz, Ghost BC Rich, Hugh Caldwell, and Jim Nicholas. Hey now. Wow. See, and that's with every video on the channel from now on. They're getting their names read. They're getting shout outs. So cool. Oh, and we just got another one. Where's my chat? Oh, David Ennis. Thank you, David Ennis. He became a member tonight. And Michael Smith is a member. Thank you so much.
Very
Michael
cool.
Smith.
Very cool.
Thank you, guys. Let's see. Okay. All right, we got to go. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you so much. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night, Saturday Night Live with John BL.
And my birthday.
And David Nesdall's birthday. He's 29 again.
50. 50 years old.
He's 50 again.
No. 50. Seriously.
All right. Leave a thumbs up. If you're watching on Facebook, leave a thumbs up. You can like the page. Look for more stuff. There's going to be a lot more stuff happening on the channel here. A lot of people are reaching out. A lot of guests. So make sure you come back. All right, guys. All right. See you guys tomorrow.
See ya.
Where are we? Johnny Beane TV.